seeing an overwhelming desire for Perloff to show off the leggings. In fact,
that's weird. Is it some sort of technical difficulty?
We'll see if there's any kind of glitch. Someone said leggings should not be in a man's wardrobe.
Performance pants.
See, that doesn't sound right either.
Yeah, I don't know. By the way,
sound like don't take Viagra. Just have these performance
pants from Romans. No,
they're sent to you in a discreet package.
Yeah. What kind of package?
Medium, size, small.
Here are Maggie and Perloff.
Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row is sponsored by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. These low-carb rinds can get you through the daily grind. Look for them in the snack aisle at your local grocer. It is Maggie and Perloff. We've reached Friday, which means we are at the busiest day of the week. This has been fantastic on Radio Row, and we have an excellent show for you today. But we got to start with Perloff because you are nervous, my friend.
No, I'm in sheer panic.
It's finally hit you. Like the game is in 2 days.
Yes, I thought coming into this whole process, my brain convinced myself that the Eagles were facing an injured Patrick Mahomes, but I keep reading these very positive reports. Got a note from my famous foot and ankle doctor saying Mahomes is going to be effective.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, there's several other Chiefs injuries that they've had nothing but good news. Everyone's going to basically play in the game. The Eagles are also healthy. So this is the thing. If it's a close game, do I really want to be sitting there in the stadium rooting, counting on the Eagles stopping Patrick Mahomes? That, you've been there, Maggie.
Yeah, it's impossible to stop Mahomes, first of all. And I know the Eagles are a very complete team, but I'm sorry, this is what I've been telling you for weeks, and I'm not, 2 weeks. I'm not trying to add to your panic. But I just want to point out that the Eagles have played nobody so far, not even the regular season, very easy schedule. And then the postseason, listen, I'm not like knocking your team, but let's call it what it is. You got gifts. You got a gift of facing the Giants, who wanted no part of that game. And then Brock Purdy got hurt because of a great play by Hassan Reddick. And you were facing a team with a quarterback who couldn't throw.
But that's not the Eagles' fault.
I
don't know. Yes.
But
so
you're not battle tested.
But
what I'm saying.
They were 14-1 with their starting quarterback. I think in the regular season, if they had played regular season, the Eagles might have been favored. Now,
what about this screams regular season to you?
Now, I know it's playoffs is different.
Own thing.
Well, because the Eagles' offensive line is dominant. I know the Chiefs have good offensive line, and the Eagles' defensive line is all world. So that's what all the guests this week have told us. The game is won in the trenches, have leaned Philly. And I know that logically.
I'm so glad we came all the way to Phoenix for people to tell us that the game was won in the trenches. Well, that's you got to establish the run to set up the pass.
Oh, okay. Okay. These are the things I'm leaning on to get me to sleep at night, Maggie, and you are debunking them. The Eagles, you saw the San Francisco game. That Eagles D-line, Hassan Reddick was basically there when the quarterback got the snap.
Yeah.
Hassan Reddick was in his face immediately.
Yeah.
Now, that was the Niners, who have a very good offensive line and a brilliant offensive coordinator. Now, the Chiefs also, obviously, a brilliant offense. I don't know why everyone thinks that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are not going to face the pass rush. And Mahomes cannot run out of it. So logic says the Eagles should be okay. But
I think Mahomes is going to be able to run out of it.
He's not going to run out of it.
Listen, I think he's going to be able to do enough. Listen, he played 5 days after a high ankle sprain. In the divisional round, played in the AFC Championship game. What makes you think with 2 weeks left, and we've talked about some of the crazy treatments and stuff that guys can get, I think he's going to be fine. I do not think that injuries are going to be a storyline in this game.
I actually think he's not going to be running out of things. I think he's going to be throwing the ball out much quicker. I think that's how he avoids us. Get it to Pacheco in the pass game. That's a popular prop bet that Isaiah Pacheco, the running back, will go over because Patrick Mahomes is not going to mess around with this. I thought that's what he did against Jacksonville. He held on to the ball, whirling dervish all around the field. You can't do that against the Eagles. It's a much better team. So I expect him quick passing, whatever. If it's the fourth quarter and you text me and say, hey, what do you think here, Perloff? How's it going to go? I'm going to be sweating through my clothes if Patrick Mahomes has the ball.
Yeah, through the Randall Cunningham jersey, which you have here on set. I'm sure Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith is really going to appreciate that. Way to go, Perloff. How about this? We are across the country on CBS Sports Radio, our incredible affiliates. We're also streaming live, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Chat is up and going with Laura saying that I look great as usual. Thank you, Laura. You're so kind. She said, Perloff looks like he got some sun. And we laughed and we laughed and we laughed. Maybe
got
it's our lighting.
Yeah. I noticed you don't say the word tan.
No, she didn't say tan.
I've never been tan. I could never live in Phoenix. In fact, a week in Phoenix in the middle of winter, and it's already challenging my sunburn.
We know. If you want to give us your prediction for the game, we are going to take calls today at 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So you can get aboard early and often. This is going to be a really, really fun show.
Yeah,
promise. Do you want to? Should we update everybody on the big party from last night?
Yes.
Okay.
How do we do this without sounding like we're bragging?
Smashing success.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was a smash.
Party of the year.
It really was, as the kids say, a banger. I mean, it was fantastic.
People are still talking about it. Now, listen.
I'm getting text messages like, hey, just woke up. What a crazy party.
Yeah, TMZ was not really clued into it going on. I didn't see any paparazzi there, but I think
sent him the photos.
I think next year, I think this is going to be, people talk about the Maxim party and the Sports Illustrated party.
Yeah.
Maggie and Perloff happy hour is on that level.
It's like tip of the tongue. It's like right there with everything else.
Hey, did you get an invite? Did you get the big invite?
Which, by the way, I mean, we couldn't have had a better setup. So Phoenix, if you've never been here, is one of those places where, well, the football stadium's like 30 minutes out of town. But the basketball stadium, obviously the Suns are now like the center of the sports world after the Durant trade. So the basketball stadium and the baseball stadium are right next to each other. So we threw and that's right by Radio Row. So we threw the party in Chase Field, where the Diamondbacks play, in a bar restaurant that's in the field overlooking the Diamond. I'll tell you what, I know we still have a Super Bowl. This made me want baseball to start so bad. Pitchers and catchers, like, it will get you in the mood. We had all of our friends, I mean, hundreds of people there, people coming in and out, everyone eating, having some fun drinks. It was really, really special.
Most of our friends. I thought Rihanna was going to pop by. She was busy preparing for the halftime show.
Well, after, your cracks about stiffening body parts, you probably scared her away. Samter, you were there. Give us the rundown.
It was fantastic. I think that the key to the night were the T-shirts at the end. People were like, everyone wants
got merch now.
Yeah, everyone wants free everything, and so free T-shirts at the end was like, free drinks, cool. Free food, delicious. A beautiful view of Chase Field and the Diamondbacks field, very, very cool. Free T-shirts, that was the key.
I know, and these are high quality. I'm putting them up for the live stream right now, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. We have Perloff's friend Dusty, who's fantastic, was at the party last night, made this logo for us. And what I think everyone appreciated is the high quality T-shirt.
Yeah.
We did not skimp. Like, this is not the T-shirt that gets shot out of the T-shirt cannon.
No.
That's a triple XL. That's like cardboard when you put it on. This is like something you want to hang out in, sleep in. And
I actually slept on one last night, like on my pillow.
Yeah.
It was just soft as a baby's bottom.
But wait, we kind of screwed up.
What?
We also had Perloff and Maggie and Perloff M&Ms made up, and we forgot them, and we haven't given them to one guest, by the way.
No, I think Gelb's just been eating them after we come on. He told me that. So I filled up the cookie, the jar here with the Maggie and Perloff M&Ms that have our faces on them, and then I forgot them for the party. So I'm thinking what we do. All right, guys, we've got T-shirts and we've got M&Ms with our names on them, and we still got a lot of them. I'm thinking we bring these back to New York, and I'm thinking we start giving them away.
Yeah, absolutely.
To our listeners, to the Weedos in the chat, the Purple Drinkers, the Against the Grainers, the people who've been with us, and the new friends that we have. We got to start giving away some of this stuff because it's an appreciation from us to you.
Sorry, we just lost Samter.
I know.
Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, just walked by. You got to give him a T-shirt, Mike. Come on.
If he wears a T-shirt and gives it to Aaron Rodgers next year as our next quarterback, I'm all in.
It's funny because you ran into Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, when we were in Vegas for the draft. It's like Samter hanging out with owners becomes a theme.
That's the level you hang with, is the NFL owner, Arthur Blank.
You guys are all the same height.
And me and Arthur Blank, we're like this. Me and the Falcons owner, we're all about it.
Woody's not short. He's pretty tall. He's a big guy.
What?
I don't know.
He's not a big guy.
Oh, you're right. No, I was looking at somebody else.
Yeah, you're looking at a much taller person. That was not him.
That's Aidan Hutchinson.
That's Willie Rowe.
That is not.
Aidan Hutchinson, Woody Johnson. Same.
No, the guy behind him. No, the very rich-looking gentleman. Well, I guess Aidan Hutchinson's doing pretty well.
There are many 6'7" people walking around this room right now, by the way. And you're right, Woody Johnson is not one of them.
Say we had Shannon Sharp on the set yesterday. You're going to say Woody Johnson seems like a big guy. Okay. 855-212-4227. Because we want to talk to you guys, we feel like, it's been different shows this week, because we're doing so many interviews. But our buddy Sean in Oregon is up now, has some advice for Perloff.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you have?
Soak it up. Soak it in, Andrew.
Get that sun.
You get to watch the sun and just watching your team win the Super Bowl.
Thanks.
Get that confidence.
Defense wins championships, and Jalen Hurts is getting disrespected.
I completely agree. I am nervous, though.
Sean, thank you for the call. Wait a minute. Jalen Hurts getting disrespected. Jalen Hurts, this is a Jalen Hurts love fest out here. No, it's not. No,
he was MVP throughout most of the season, gets hurt, probably might have won it. It would have been close.
It would have been close. Mahomes really came on, yeah.
But I'm just saying, Jalen Hurts is not talked about like that since the injury. And to be honest, he has not played as well since the injury. There's no doubt about it. His numbers across the board are down. And probably because the Eagles have been running. But I agree. He's not as big a story as he could be. A new quarterback in the Super Bowl is usually a big story, but the Eagles are treated more as a team. By the way, have I told you my Oregon theory?
You got an Oregon theory?
I want to live in Oregon because I'm happier when no one is tan and it rains a lot. I am definitely attracted.
People.
I'm attracted to the Pacific Northwest
because everyone.
It's also awesome. That's another reason.
Yeah, right.
But Sean in Oregon, soak in the sun. I thought he was talking about. Oregon is more my weather.
He was saying those soak in Eagles in the Super Bowl.
No,
the sun just reflects off of your very pale skin. It's like. You're just like, everyone's squinting around you.
We were sitting around and people were talking about, man, this is nice out here in Phoenix. Maybe I retire here. I'm like, not me. I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire to Pullman, Washington. I'm going to go to Pullman where all the pale people hang out. No, I don't know.
They'd love to have you. I think you'd fit right in.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is full Norwegian, so the Scandinavian blood. Minnesota, people don't get tan there. Maggie, you're pretty tan. You're always, I'm very jealous.
It's an illusion. Kemba says, Maggie and Perloff, melt in your mouth, not in your hand. I think we walked into that one. Yeah, we got the M&Ms, we got the T-shirts. I'm telling you guys, collector's items. That's what they are.
I've already gotten
eat them. But
by the way, fans are already sending us notes with sizes.
Sizes, I know.
Yeah, what's up with that?
We're going to get to everybody.
Maggie, why are you promising something? Now we have to figure this out. Do not just say that on the air without consulting with anyone.
Listen, all I do is just say, Samter, do it.
Okay.
Samter, deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I say it, Samter delivers on it. Samter, you got this, right?
Yeah, I get to be the bad guy. I'm okay with that.
No. You're going to be the good guy. You're going to be sending out all these T-shirts. It's cool. It's only going to take like an hour, 2 hours a day out of your day.
No, that's totally fine. It's not like I have anyone at home that needs to take my attention away.
No, it's fine.
As long as you have a T-shirt that fits a baby, then I'm good.
By the way, you've never heard a guiltier call than Mike Samter to his wife after the show. His wife's home alone with a newborn. Mike is, we're having...
on my way to a party.
No. He's like, it's terrible here in Phoenix. It's cloudy. There's nothing to do. All I want to do is fall asleep. Yeah.
I did my best to try to convince her that I was having a miserable time and missing them, which is partly true, mostly true.
Yeah, keep telling her that. I'm sure she's listening.
4% true.
Let's go to Matthew, who's in California. Matthew, what do you have?
Maggie, Perloff, how's it going?
What's up, Matthew?
So I called in a couple of weeks ago, right before the Bengal-Chiefs game, to let Perloff know that he was disrespecting the Chiefs defense, and I was right. They did beat the Bengals, so I'm calling back in to let him know that he's doing it again, disrespecting a very good offensive line in Kansas City and disrespecting a very good defensive line in Kansas City. People forget defensive running game wins championships, but Chris Jones is going to make Jalen Hurts' day long all day long, unless it's going to change the whole entire game.
All right, what do you think about that?
I think Matthew has no idea what he's talking about. No.
Wait a minute.
No, I totally understand everything. The legit, obviously. He mentioned Chris Jones, right?
Yeah.
That's my biggest nightmare. He reminds me a lot of Aaron Donald from the Rams season. Yep. Don't you see a similarity?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Donald, though, also had the Von Miller, and, they had a lot.
Frank Clark in the playoffs.
And Frank Clark in the playoffs, I'm saying, could be that, right?
Okay.
So it's like it's not just him as a one-man thing, even though he'll probably get a lot of the credit if he's finishing those sacks. Interesting, though, we did get word yesterday that Chris Jones was not feeling well.
Yeah.
Something's been going on here out in Phoenix. We've had a lot of friends just anecdotally telling us that people, are getting sick.
Oh,
and stuff
you
like
think
that.
he got that Phoenix Super Bowl week flu.
The Phoenix flu? No, I think that's probably more our friends. I think he might just legitimately be sick.
I think the adrenaline of a Super Bowl will take care of that. This
is our buddy James Palmer. Sorry, really quick. I had a chance to talk to Chris Jones yesterday. He told me I'm not feeling very well. Dry eyes, runny nose, sore throat. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine by Sunday. I was reading one of the injured receivers on Kansas City is basically completely injured during the regular season. I'm sorry, I think it might be, it's either Hardman or Juju. He's like, I don't care what the doctors say. I'm playing on Sunday. That's the attitude. I think you sell out for Sunday. There's no future after Sunday. So Mahomes is going to go all out. Jalen Hurts is going to run despite his shoulder injury. I think all the injured guys are going to play better than we think.
I do too. I just do not think that injuries are going to be the storyline here. Let's see about. I just want to make sure there wasn't an update here on Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, both looking like, a knee for Juju. Obviously, Toney's the ankle and the hamstring. But they were full participants.
Sorry, it was Tony who said that. He said there's nothing that's going to keep me off this field.
And, L'Jarius Sneed, with a knee injury, he was the only one limited. But if you're limited before the Super Bowl, it means you're playing. And they're going to need him, too, because that's obviously one of the big keys to the Chiefs' secondary. Okay, so we're here for one last blowout show. We've got you with us for the next 3 hours. Do not move. Coming up next, this is a treat for us. If you're a fan of In the Heights, if you're a fan of Stars Born, now the new Transformers Rise of the Beast movie.
Yeah.
Anthony Ramos, the actor, super talented. He's going to join us next. Coming up later in the hour, Aidan Hutchinson from your Detroit Lions. Guys, we've got a star-studded show for you today. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row in Phoenix right after this.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
First time ever, stream the Super Bowl for free. Super Bowl 57 on Westwood One is Sunday, February 12th. Catch all the action on the Odyssey app, on WestwoodOneSports.com, via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. All sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the cause of your engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Man, we are nerding out right now, Maggie.
I know. Well, a crowd is now formed around our set because this is one of the cool parts about being on Radio Row. It's not just the athletes and the Hall of Famers. We get actors and singers as well. And right now, Anthony Ramos has made his way to our set. I mean, we're just geeking out. In the Heights, of course, A Star is Born, Hamilton, and now the new movie, Transformers, Rise of the Beast. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
We got to talk because you were just telling us this amazing story, and we see now all of your accomplishments. But you were just telling us about this famous high school in New York. Yeah. Obviously, you grew up in Brooklyn. Yeah. This famous high school in New York called LaGuardia. It's an arts, school. So many famous people have gone there. Yeah. You auditioned and got rejected.
I did get rejected.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Probably for a bunch of reasons. My grades weren't all that. You have to have really good grades to get into LaGuardia as well. And partly because I sang the Star Spangled Banner at my audition. I don't know if that was the best audition choice.
It's a hard song.
Yeah, I mean it is hard, right? Yeah. Vocally, you can say that it was definitely when you start to hit them high notes on the Rockets' red glare.
Well, my daughter just tried out for a talent school in New York. Did Hallelujah, and I said to her, Hallelujah is a hard song. Everybody does that, the Buckley song. And I told her not to do that, but so I don't know. So I was like,
Don't do it.
Well, I'm like, do it.
How about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something, guys?
If you do Hallelujah, you're compared to everyone who's ever sung this song. But Star Spangled Banner, then you're compared to a lot of people. Wait a minute,
have you been able to sing the Star Spangled Banner though at a sporting event?
Can you give us a little?
I've sung the Star Spangled Banner at come on. I sang it at the Mets game.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Playoffs. I think that was God Bless America, but I did the Star Spangled Banner at the Nets game, probably a couple years ago. I've done it for the MLS, the team in New York.
More nervous for that or getting on stage Hamilton?
My throat was the driest it's ever been.
Oh man.
When I sang it for the Nets.
because I think it was because it was my first time doing it.
Did you consider going?
Well, since the audition,
right. I even had a military guy be like, "Yo, you don't ever sing the Star Spangled Banner facing away from the flag." I was like, "Yo, my man, I didn't mean to do that."
Oh no!
Oh no! Did you consider saying in the end, take that, LaGuardia?
And
yeah,
in your face, LaGuardia.
Yeah, in your face, LaGuardia.
That's exactly how I finished it.
Which is, by the way, the school in the movie Fame.
Yes.
Is LaGuardia, of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's an amazing school, though. It's an amazing school.
So, do those things like? Are you the kind of person who carried those with you as you were trying to make it in Hollywood, like those kind of rejections, to fuel you moving forward, or do you let stuff kind of roll off your back?
I think a little. You keep that stuff a little. Every time you get a no, whether you acknowledge it or not, every no kind of gives you fuel. Every no gives you this extra kind of, this gas, if you will. Like I'm like, I bet, yeah, keep filling up my engine, because you know what I'm saying. Like this makes you more motivated, But I don't take it as a negative thing. Like, oh, forget those people. Like they're the worst. They don't know what they're doing. Like that's not. I think it's more, I'm like, all right, cool. That's another no, but let's go. Like, that's one no closer to my yes.
I would always feel like acting is a particularly tough one. You get a lot, and I'm not sure you have, but a lot of actors get a lot of no's. Sure. I can see it being really, for us civilians, really deflating.
Yeah, no, I mean, been told no. Bro.
Oh, you had
horrible,
yes.
bro.
I mean, you've done all the auditions and all that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I used to do 2, 3 a day, 4 times a week. I get up at 5 in the morning. I go wait outside, put my name on a list, and you hope they'll see you because you're not union. And you get in there, you're waiting. There's hundreds of people at each one of these auditions, so you have to like time it out like perfectly. Where I'm like, all right, if I do this one by 8, I have 3 hours to get seen. Then I can go get seen at this one by 11. And then I can try to be seen at this one by maybe 3 or 4 at the end of their day, and then I can go to work at 5. I was working at a bakery at the time.
Man,
wow.
That's
Union
crazy.
Square.
That's like a little bit like in the Heights. There's like a little of a thing there. We'll get to that in a moment. But so, what do you consider your first break? Like, what do you consider your big break?
I think my break was Hamilton for sure on Broadway. I mean, like that was you had anyone who was anyone coming to see that show. Coming to watch the show. It was, it became this like spectacle. It became this, phenomenon.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yo, I gotta get out there and go. The presidents come in, the prime minister, this one, Oprah, who's Jay-Z, who everybody. Yeah. So it was almost like, it was also like having an opportunity to be a part of a showcase. For anyone and everyone in in the industry, not just in the States but just around the world. People was traveling from other places, parts of the world to come see the show. So it was a blessing. It kind of kicked it off for me.
Did you have any idea when Hamilton started that was going to happen?
Nah, I mean I knew it was special, but I didn't know it was gonna be. It was like it felt like we were performing at MSG every night. It was 1,300 people. It felt like thousands and thousands. It felt like thousands of people.
I'm sorry, I should have researched this. Were you in the Broadway version of In the Heights?
No, man, I wasn't. Funny enough, I auditioned for like a touring production that they were doing of In the Heights.
Really?
And I didn't get it.
Oh no!
My goodness.
For the same team that did, I'm the only difference in the team is that John Chu wasn't a part of that.
Yeah.
That squad, but so it was a different director, but it was the same team that did Hamilton. The same team that I was auditioning for 4 years prior for In the Heights, that tour, and I didn't get it. That one I really wanted bad, bro.
Wow.
That one I didn't get.
Well, things have worked out. You started the movie, and of course, like Lin-Manuel Miranda is such a genius. So this has got to be different with Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I can only imagine. Like Broadway is the most authentic you're going to get because you're on stage with your fellow actors. There's a live audience. Is this like a lot of green screen and like the stunts? Like that's got to be so different from your training.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine me sitting here talking to you two, but not talking to you two.
Yeah, we're just like in
that
like
the kind of acting you had to do?
100%.
Yeah.
Like imagine both of you. There's a white wall for people who can't see, right? There's a white wall behind us. Imagine both of you sitting behind there, closing the door, and talking to me that way, and me looking like this, facing here,
and like
emoting
and crying, and
yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Is that the toughest thing?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was a little difficult because you gotta. you're not reacting to anything. You know, most of the readers that are reading too, they're doing their best, but there's only so much you can do.
Yes, it's like, run, get out of here, we're all gonna die.
Right. Or some of them really good, but they're like somewhere all the way far with a mic, reading, and you can't see them. So you're like, and then they're like, okay, an Optimus is. This is where Optimus is, and then your eye line for Bumblebee is a little lower right here. So they bring in the tennis balls, right, and everything is all blue all around you. Or even if you're out on a field, like we were shooting at Machu Picchu, had this massive scene where we all joined the Transformers, and it's hilarious really because the guys with the tennis ball they come right, and so you look in, you see how just to give you your eye line, a correct eye line, so this one's that tall, that one's that tall, and then you basically they do like 1 or 2 rehearsals like that way, and then they're like, okay, so are you good now? Like, can you do it without the tennis balls? And we're like, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll give it a shot, bro. I mean, what? Yeah.
Did you do any fighting?
Yeah, I got some fighting in this movie.
Oh yeah. Is that fun?
It was amazing, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was amazing, yeah. And I was just making a joke with somebody earlier how I had like this scene where I'm fighting these like small Transformers, and I gotta like stab one in the air, and slam one on the ground, and like it was just our stunt coordinator. He had a whole blue suit on, and I like he comes up from behind me. He's like kind of choking me out. And, like when you see it on the monitor, it looks hilarious. Just this blue guy like coming up behind me, and I gotta slam him to the mat. And,
oh my gosh.
And whatnot. Yeah.
Anthony Ramos, I hope you kept some of those outtakes or something on your phone just for your own personal, memories.
Yeah, I can't wait. All of them are coming out. As soon when we put the movie out, everything's going online.
Yes.
The release June 3rd of this year. We know you're going to have an incredibly busy year. We can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming over to the table.
Thank you.
In the Heights should have been nominated for an Oscar over West Side Story. I just think that. I have to tell you, I'm sorry, whatever. I know it doesn't matter to you probably, but we just loved it. So
I appreciate it. June 9th. I think we June 9th now, though. I think they moved this.
June 9th?
Yeah, June 9th. June 9th.
That's the release date.
That's the release date.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be
Maggie's going to be there June 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, we'll all be there June 3rd.
I know somebody. I didn't want to brag on the air, but I get everything 5 days early. Anthony Ramos, this is so special. Very cool, and congrats on all your success.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Had a good time.
All right, Maggie and Perloff, we keep it going. We turn back to football after this. Aidan Hutchinson, defensive end from the Detroit Lions, is going to join us right after this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flag.
Well, Super Bowl Media Week is winding down, and players and coaches off limits until after Sunday's big game. Andy Reid's Hall of Fame career continues to get better with age. He's looking for his second Lombardi trophy. This is his 4th trip to the big game and has the routine down pat by now.
They get through Thursday and, they really start focusing in and going, doggone, we're there. I think they start getting really excited. But once they get through today, I'm sure they'll take place. It's been 2 weeks, man. They want to play.
Right now, Reid and the Chiefs are a 1.5-point underdog. Patrick Mahomes captured an individual honor last night, winning the MVP award for the second time. The Bucs are healthy and winning, and they take a 9-game winning streak to L.A. to meet the Clippers. Milwaukee is a game behind Boston in the East. The Celtics will host the Hornets and could be without their 2 best players. Jaylen Brown will miss tonight's game after a collision with Jason Tatum on Wednesday, in which he took an elbow to the face. Tatum could be out tonight due to a non-COVID illness. The Suns are in Indiana. They made the biggest splash at the trade deadline, getting Kevin Durant, but we'll have to wait for him as he remains out with a sprained knee. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Hey, this is DA. CBS Sports Radio has moved to SiriusXM Channel 158, or listen to us on your local affiliate. Find your station at Odyssey.com/stations.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Maggie and Perloff, we're here with Detroit Lions. Well, just finished his...
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining.
Maggie and Perloff, we're here with Detroit Lions. Well, just finished his rookie season. Aidan Hutchinson, the pass rusher, of course, also from the University of Michigan. Aidan, thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
By the way, are you cool? I see CJ Stroud is walking around. There's still going to be no violence here, right?
No, we were at the Heisman together. We got along.
There's not an instinct to go over and just try to sack him in the middle radio room?
We're good. We're good. I got good vibes with CJ.
Good.
Talk to us about this season, because you guys had a fantastic turnaround and you ended up walking into Lambeau Field in your season finale. You knew that you guys couldn't make the playoffs, yet you left everything out there and you beat the Packers. I mean, describe what that was like.
I mean, a little bittersweet, you know, because obviously you're winning a big game, and the whole Detroit Lions fan base I felt was there. That post-game press conference was freaking awesome, but a little bittersweet because, you know, we feel so hot. I mean, we felt so good. I mean, I remember that whole week leading up to it, everyone was saying how if the Packers win this game, they're the hottest team in the league. Watch out in the playoffs, and then we go and beat them, and then, you know, it's just. We wish we had a shot at the playoffs.
It's funny because I was like a lot of people. I thought the Packers had more to play for, and you guys didn't come in like that at all.
Yeah, well, you know, we got a lot of Aaron Rodgers little snippets every year, all his little body shots to us. So it was a little extra motivation. It wasn't just winning a game on the line. It was let's hold them from getting in.
So that loss might have sent him to a darkness retreat for the next 4 days. I mean, you could say that the Lions sent him, you know, to go soul searching.
Baby.
Now, Aidan, of course, you're a pass rusher, 9.5 sacks, but you're also an interception machine, obviously.
So they say. Yeah.
Let's talk about. I want to talk about maybe my favorite play of the year. The Bears game.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the half, I believe, right?
Yep.
You guys all drop back. What is that defense called? And you make it another athletic interception.
Yeah.
But it was such a weird play.
Yeah.
What was the strategy by the defensive coordinator there?
Yeah, I mean, that's a situational defense we run every week. It's actually called outside man patrol, alert, convert. That's the whole play call. So pretty much, I'm sitting on the sideline, just making sure they don't get any catches on the sideline. And Justin, I see him kind of scanning his reads. I'm like, uh-oh. I start creeping a little off the sideline, and I make a play. You know, I got good hands.
You do have amazing hands.
Yeah.
Can they get you in on offense for a trick play?
Yeah,
like, are we going to see something like that?
I told someone else that's going to be for the MVP season right there. We'll get some touchdowns.
Wait, is this more like chip on your shoulder, as if you needed it? The fact that unfortunately fell short for defensive rookie of the year.
You know, we're moving on, and we're looking forward to things.
Come on, Maggie, I told you not to say that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he put together an incredible case. And Sauce Gardner won it from the Jets, but you had an incredible resume, and it was fun to watch you. You look like a veteran out there, even though you were a rookie.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So what's next year, Lions? I think they're already. It's February, obviously. They're the hot team.
Oh yeah.
People are talking about them. Are people right? Should they be talking about them?
I think so. And we got 2 first-round draft picks too this year too. So it's man, I think the sky's the limit for us this next year. I think if we can just take a little bit of that momentum we had and just put it to the start of our season, man, and start good, it's going to be a hell of a year.
Would you be happy if Aaron Rodgers was not in the division anymore?
Aaron Rodgers can do as he pleases. If he wants to stay, he can stay. If he wants to leave, he can leave. I'm happy either way.
Listen, Rodgers isn't the only one who can take body shots. You know, Aidan Hutchinson can deliver a couple body shots too. He's joining us on behalf of Courtyard by Marriott. Get to that in just a moment. But you. All right, just finished your rookie year playing for Dan Campbell.
Yep.
When you were in Michigan playing for Jim Harbaugh. Can you compare those coaches?
It's hard to compare them. They have a similar intensity, a similar fire and passion for the game, but it's different. You know, Harbaugh's a little more unpredictable, and you know, in a team meeting compared to Dan. But they're both very unique in their own ways.
Okay, give us the one time or a memorable time when Jim Harbaugh just surprised you by doing something or saying something crazy.
You know, I would say, I don't know if I can disclose any team meetings, but just for example, he's a guy that we're getting ready to go out for practice. This is just an everyday thing, and you see Harbaugh just in his khakis, shirt off, cleats on, squatting in our weight room, and I'm like,
with weight?
Oh yeah, with weight. He's
What's he putting up these days?
I don't, you know, he's just trying to stay in the game, not anything crazy, but that's the kind of guy. You know, you're just walking out, just having a regular day, and you see that, you're like, okay. Well,
what kind of a madman lifts weights in khakis?
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
he does everything in khakis.
Wait, Dan Campbell, does he lift with the team too?
I've never seen him lift.
I mean, I can
imagine
imagine
he's the most built guy I've ever seen in my life.
Really? Still at this age?
He's ginormous. I think he's broader than me. He's got bigger arms. I'm like, dude, he could still stretch. I'm sure for one game he could play tight end.
Wow. I mean, it's not exactly Andy Reid.
No.
the exact. Are you ready to guarantee? I know you don't want to make any guarantees about the Lions, but Michigan, quarterback coming back, running back coming back, it's a national title next year.
I mean, you think so, but you know, I'm not a Wolverine anymore. I'm just a spectator. So, you know, I think they got a shot.
First, you're getting along with C.J. Stroud. Now you're not going to guarantee a Michigan title. Yeah,
it's not the Aidan Hutchinson
you're
that we
pro.
remember.
You're a pro's pro. I love it.
Yeah.
Aidan, tell us what you're doing with Courtyard by Marriott.
So I am here on behalf on Courtyard by Marriott, the official hotel of the NFL, and they are showcasing the Courtyard Super Bowl sleepover suite in the stadium, and actually one lucky fan gets to stay there and wake up on Super Bowl Sunday to a great view in the suite. He's staying there, so it's a good deal for him.
There you go. Courtyard by Marriott. Aidan Hutchinson, it's been fantastic to get to catch up with you for just a little bit. We're wishing you all the best of luck in the next season.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply check out the link, cbssportsradio.com/askthepros, or tweet your question at CBS Sports Radio using the hashtag AskThePros. Be listening later in the show when we might answer your question. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people, O'Reilly Auto Parts. All right, well, that was fun with Aidan Hutchinson, but we've got to get back to the calls at 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. We're taking your predictions for the game. Perloff is incredibly nervous about the Eagles. Something has switched in his mind where he was an overconfident Eagles fan that's now become scared, afraid, ready to go crawl into a isolated dark cave.
I was expecting all week the headline, Patrick Mahomes is struggling on his ankle. All his receiving core is injured. Travis Kelce's back. Those headlines are not coming, Maggie, and it's frustrating me, to be honest.
Nope. Instead, they're not even on the injury report.
No.
Nothing has happened.
It is also an incredibly, you will admit, this is an evenly matched Super Bowl. This is not one where anybody's saying blowout one way or the other.
No, the spread's 1.5. I mean, it can, besides a pick 'em, it really can't get much closer than that. So, okay. We also have, I just want to say it now, because, when they say about a checkoff play, right?
Yeah.
If the gun is on the wall in the first act, it better fire by the third act. The duck costume did make it to Phoenix.
Oh.
And here we are, Friday, Radio Row in Phoenix, and the duck costume has yet to make an appearance. All I'm saying is that there's still time to get your questions into the Advice Duck.
Wow.
You can do it by tweeting us at Maggie and Pearl, P-E-R-L, on Twitter. You can also send us an email, maggieandperloff@gmail.com. We have a lot of submissions already.
Let's go.
All right, let's get to our pal Nick in Texas, who has been waiting all week to call in at the perfect time. Nick, what's up, dude?
Hey, guys. Well, it's good to talk to you again. But before we get started, I have to give a big shout-out to this amazing new fan group. I want to give a shout-out to the Grainers, hashtag All right. So
thanks, buddy. I appreciate
that. Sorry if I hurt you in the ears on that.
It's okay. We'll recover.
All right. So I am calling because we've had such a great year together. We've had some fun. And I am calling with one last show bet. I would like to retire the fun that I've brought to the show. I don't know who you guys are going for, but I am ready to make one last bet on a big event, which is the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday.
Uh-oh.
And I would like to kind of do a little twist to it, though, before we give our choices. And I'm an ambassador for a colon cancer foundation, and I've come across some amazing people throughout my work. And one of them I have come across is a girl named Emma. And so there's a thing called the Whipping Cough Challenge, which this is something old school for you, Perloff. It is just basically a pie to the face, but we were going to call it taking an Emma pie to the face, which will be made out of coconut cream.
Oh, delicious, by the way.
From that, I would like to kind of ask you guys, who are you guys leaning towards, and if you guys are down for one last bet.
And for Emma and for the cause, for raising awareness about colon cancer and getting screened, we would absolutely take this show back.
Wait, now who's the bet between Maggie and I, or are you involved?
You know what? I think everybody should be involved, so I know that's the tricky part. Do you guys kind of have maybe a consensus of who you all are going for, or is it kind of mixed?
Okay, how about this? Why don't we do it this way? If you're going to be Team Perloff, whoever Perloff picks, we're going to do our show picks a little bit later on. Whoever Perloff picks, you can align yourself with Perloff and be in his camp. And whoever I pick, like, spoiler, we're not going to pick the same team. So if you want to align with me, you can come into my camp, so you'll be Team Maggie. And then whatever happens in the game, if you are Team Perloff and you lose, you got to take a pie. Somebody in your family, friends, a willing stranger, someone has to give you a pie in the face. Or you can pie yourself in the face. And if you're with me and we lose, then we all take the pie together. And you can send us your videos on social. We'll put them up on our Twitter handle and our Facebook page. How about that?
I love it. And I'll say this right now. Whoever's going for the Eagles, that's what I'm going for. So let's go fly, Eagles fly.
Oh, Nick, look at you.
I feel a little bad, though, because I want to do the pie for Emma as well. But if we both pick the Eagles, Maggie's clearly going to have to do the pie. I mean, we know how this is going to play out.
I don't know. Mahomes' ankle.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think
your heart may change, and no matter who wins or loses, maybe you'll just have to take one too. Because, like you said, this is for an amazing cause. It's for a cancer cause, and so however we can get everybody involved. But Maggie, I do like what you propose, and I am down with whoever's going to roll with my Eagles.
Man, fantastic. Nick, we know that this is something that's near and dear to you, something that you've put your effort behind, and something where you've dedicated your time to it. So we're behind you, Nick. Like, we are any way we can help. And for Emma, this is so, so cool. And thanks for bringing it to our attention, because we wouldn't have known about it. And now the chat is filled with hashtag Team Perloff, hashtag Team Maggie. So
Let's go. Hashtag Team Perloff.
Okay. So, Nick, you're the best. Thanks for doing this. And we'll talk a little bit more offline about all of the details, like when we're going to do it and all that. Nick, thank you.
That sounds great. I'm a size large for the shirt.
There you go. Well, you know there's a shirt coming your way. Nick, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate that. We'll make the picks later in the show. You ready to get a pie in the face? For a good cause?
So I am ready to eat the part of the pie that doesn't hit the floor after your face. Preferably the part that doesn't hit your face, but I love coconut cream pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a great cause. And Nick, of course, you've been a wonderful, wonderful addition to the show. So, and everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. Yes, and now Samper has to send you all T-shirts. Is that the deal?
Yeah, no, Samper's got it.
Mike,
you get
just
yourself
call Mike.
down to a FedEx Kinko's
Let's give out Mike's cell phone so they can reach him directly.
And your address.
555-555.
Yeah.
5555.
Yes, his DMs are open, everybody. You can try to get Samper any way you can. Just, congratulate him on the baby. If you're going to ask him for something, he's going to spend time. Congratulate him on the baby. Yeah, we'll get the T-shirts out.
No, that's exciting. Yeah. I'm psyched to do a bet. Listen, there's a lot on the line with this Super Bowl, not just for the teams, but for Maggie and Perloff.
Well, now the stakes got really high. I thought maybe some of my prop bets were going to be like, the most I had invested in the game. Maybe a little bit of money here or there, just a little something to keep it interesting. Now this got taken to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Because I have once gotten a pie in the face before, and it's a lot. You never think about the aftermath. It's like now you have dairy in your hair.
You've only once. I've got 15 buys to the face. It was a huge Dan Patrick Show thing.
Yeah.
So we'll borrow
this.
I was talking about the stakes. We have a season-long picks competition, and it's coming down the last week. Now I am considering we do the game, we do the over/under, and we do one prop. I'm considering doing the coin toss, just so I don't have to think about it after 2 seconds. That's basically red or black.
Okay, you want to just also throw the coin toss in there?
No. That's my prop, is a coin toss.
Oh, that's what you're going to do?
I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I see, because you don't want to wait the whole game to sweat out whether Travis Kelce gets 87 yards receiving?
I have not enjoyed doing these props because, first of all, an under is excruciating. I don't know how you would pick under in this particular game.
Yeah.
Because then it's sort of rooting against a high-scoring Super Bowl, which you also want to see.
Love it. In the chat, Nick getting all the love. Jared, Nick, the man of many hidden talents. Timothy saying Nick represents the Weedos the best. Jerry saying give Nick Super Bowl tickets. We wish. If we had access to something like that, we would. Darren saying standing ovation for Nick. Laura also saying congrats on the baby Samter. So everybody is here. RPC, great call, buddy, on Nick. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're psyched, dude.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And now this added another another fun element to the
another level of anxiety for us as we try and predict this game, which is kind of unpredictable. I just saw a bunch of Eagles writers. I said, how you feeling? And they said, you know what? They all said good. I don't know what that means. They're Eagles writers.
A little overconfident, these Eagles fans. Coming up after this is cool. Actor, comedian. He's in all of your favorite funny movies. Rob Riggle is going to join us in just a moment. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row in Phoenix after this.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. This is what I love about this week. These shows are a little bit different. We are interviewing athletes all the time, but we get an actor, a comedian, someone as talented as Rob Riggle to join us on the set. Well, this is a really fun and interesting day. Rob, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for that intro. That was very nice of you to say.
Well, I do this for a living, Rob.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Just, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, no, but it's not that. We'll get into it later, but I'm from Philadelphia.
Oh, boy, here we go. Here we go.
Still holding it against you, Rob, after all these years.
When you walked up here, I'm just going to tear you apart for 10 minutes because, I mean...
What was that? What was that set up on, was it Mary Tyler Moore show with Ted Knight or something? Do you remember that when he's like, it's going to be really easy? No, it was Bob Newhart or something. Remember nobody knows these references. I'm
sorry, guys. I'm far too young for this conversation. I'm going to move away.
Exactly. But it was that thing where everything's going to be fine. It'll be real easy. And then, 3, 2, 1, he goes, why did you kill it? Yeah, just pounced on him.
Yeah, why do you hate Philadelphia Eagles fans, Rob?
Yeah.
And that's all we want to know. Have you made amends with the Eagles fans? After 2018, you took some shots at the NFL honors. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't remember taking any specific shots at the Eagles. I remember taking some shots at like Mark Davis and some of the owners, but not the Eagles specifically. No, and I was happy to see them win that year, and I was very happy for my friend Kevin Hart. I was very happy for him.
Yep.
And my producing partner and really good friend Chris Peasy is a huge Eagles fan, and I've always rooted for the Eagles in his. For him, provided they're not playing the Chiefs,
which they are.
Which now we've come to that crossroad.
Yeah.
We've come to that crossroad, and so come Monday we'll renew the friendship. But for now, it's off.
So, Rob, let's compare here. The Eagles have Bradley Cooper, Jill Biden, Questlove. I would say Kevin Hart. I would say it's the best celebrity fan base.
Oh, I think you made a huge mistake.
Make your case for the KC crew.
Well, I mean, let's start with Ted Lasso and Ant-Man, just out of the gates.
That's pretty good.
Okay? Then it goes into Eric Stone Street, Modern Family. Then you got Dave Koechner, Whammy!
Yeah.
Okay? Champ Kind. You got Heidi Gardner, SNL.
You were on SNL, you know.
Thank you. You got Rob Riggle. You got
never heard of him.
Never heard of that guy. You got David Dismulchin. You got Kat McNamara. You got Melissa Etheridge. Dr. Phil. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
You really punctuated that with Dr. Phil. That was like the mic drop of this whole thing.
Boom, and I'm out.
And Riggle is gone now. We'll never see him again.
Is there anybody from the area who is not a Chiefs fan? Does anyone not like football? I mean, this sounds like how many celebrities are from the area?
There's a lot of talent coming out of Kansas City. There must have been something in the water in the 80s and 90s, I think, because there's a lot of comedic talent coming out of Kansas City. Wow. And we have a lot of great musicians. I mean, Sheryl Crow, Brad Pitt. They're all down. They're all down with the Chiefs.
Talking about dating ourselves. If I wanted some Philly comedic talent, David Brenner in the house.
I mean, that was a pull.
And I was going to say the other big Philadelphia comedian we don't talk about. Temple Owls fan, longtime Eagles fan.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But Kevin Hart is die hard, you know.
Yeah.
You guys punch horses and you climb poles.
Yeah.
I know.
And listen, we all celebrate in different ways.
No, Chiefs fans celebrate like not crazy people. Just big fans.
Yeah, we tend to cheer and celebrate and throw banners and little rolls of toilet paper at worst. At the worst.
It's very quaint.
No Vaseline involved. No grease.
Yeah, who's buying Vaseline in an industrial size?
Yeah, the mayor doesn't have to budget for grease.
Okay, Rob Riggle is here on our set. He's joining us on behalf of PXG. They're launching a new 6-part web series called Playing Around with Rob Riggle. We know you're a massive golf fan. I'll get to that and more of that in just a moment. Not sure if you're up to date on the latest Aaron Rodgers news, because it comes fast and furious around here. You know, he's going through something. He's going on a 4-day darkness retreat.
Oh.
That's a sensory deprivation situation.
Don't they? I'm sorry.
Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of like those tubs you float in.
Yeah, this is like that for 4 days.
But for 4 days, that's borderline torture, isn't it?
I like borderline. I think straight up torture.
I mean, like that kind of isolation would make you crazy, I thought. Isn't that what they do to prisoners?
If you went into 4 days of isolation, what is Rob Riggle like coming out of that?
Oh, I mean, probably a lot of show tunes. I'll be singing a lot of show tunes.
Self-entertained.
Yeah.
Maybe go back to the Step Brothers script, just kind of like reenact some scenes.
I could probably do that. You know, they did say there was a this is so, I'm not trying to be dark, but there was a prisoner in Vietnam who built a house in his mind. That's what he would do when he was in solitary confinement. And he built this house room by room and staircases, and he would write out the dimensions and all this. And when he got home, and that kind of kept him sane while he was in solitary. And when he got back to the States after the war, he built this home from the vision in his mind and stuff. So I would probably try to, I don't know if I'd build a house, but I would maybe write a script.
Oh, there you go.
This is a time where the real funny comes out.
Yeah. In the dark.
This is when the jokes just start flowing.
You know, on the prison front, I was telling Maggie, I would want to be in isolation because I'd be so terrified of not being in isolation. I think put me in there for a year. I can't go out into General Pop. They would eat me alive.
Yeah, General Pop, you got to, I know nothing about this, but it's all my assumptions.
And movies and Oz, right?
And we all talk about it. We're like, look, if I got pinched and I had to do it, I'm punching somebody first day and get thrown in.
Yeah.
Well, you're a former Marine, so I definitely wouldn't want to be on the other end of that. Rob Riggle is joining us, of course, actor, comedian, and now working on behalf of PXG Golf, new web series. So cool. Another thing that Rodgers is doing, I hate to keep bringing you back to it,
but it is interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah. So he was a guest on an astrology webinar. Mm-hmm. Are you a big astrology guy? What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Ah, me too. Do you want to get your horoscope for today?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I always find this interesting because, obviously I don't know if it's real or not, but it always feels like whenever you hear it, you're like, that kind of applies to me today.
Well, let's see.
Wait, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see.
This is your real horoscope for Rob Riggle today.
All right.
Do whatever it takes to make yourself heard today.
Okay, well, it just happened.
Yeah.
You don't have to shout, but you do have to insist that friends and family members alike listen to your message, because if they don't, they could find themselves out of favor very soon. Ooh, that changed. I thought that was like a Radio Row thing for a moment, but now it's more personal.
This is uncanny. This is.
I don't believe you for some reason.
It's actually a little scary, because if my family doesn't listen to what I have to say about PXG today, I'm cutting them off.
And they all know that.
I sent them a text saying, guys, my PXG message today is so you guys focus. Because if you don't hear me, we're done.
That's it. You're
and
out
it's
on
the
your
Super Bowl
own.
weekend. We love each other.
And the Chiefs are playing.
And the Chiefs are playing.
It's hardcore,
it's a big family moment.
I know. Way to really put it all on the line.
Well, the thing is, PXG's got a new golf ball, just came out this week. It's been 10 years in the making. It's what everybody's wanted. And it's here now, guys. It's here now. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it.
You got the web series? I heard
I got the web series with PXG, which is fantastic. I get to play with my friends and people I find interesting.
You don't look like, you're not like Charles Barkley out there or anything, right?
I don't have the hitch. I don't have the short circuit. And I can say that because I've played with Charles.
Yeah.
And he's a wonderful man, and we enjoy each other. So, I don't have the
yeah.
But it probably the same result.
What other athletes have you played with? Who's good? Who's a trash talker?
I'm so lucky. I played in the Tahoe tournament for the last 7 years, And so I get to play with all kinds of athletes, from Mike Eruzione to Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
You know, and
were you fanning out on Mahomes?
And Mike Eruzione.
Well, of course, he's
greatest sports moment. It was the greatest
Yeah.
sports moment of my life.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. I was a little kid playing under my mom's ironing board with my like Star Wars figures or something, and when they won, I jumped up and hit my head on the ironing board. I'll never forget it.
That's amazing.
It was truly a cool moment. But and then Patrick Mahomes is so much fun. I'm such a fanboy, obviously being a Kansas City guy, and I played with him and Kelsey a couple times now, and we got to the one hole at Tahoe, and it was a long drive. And he swung so hard it hurt me to watch him. My back hurt. My back hurt
He's
after
young.
he swung.
That's
Yes,
who can do this.
but he's got so much muscle and torque, and he hit that ball so violent. It went 347 in the air and rolled out to 361 dead center in the fairway.
He's Happy Gilmore.
It was amazing. It was. I was just like, wow. And that's what these guys do. These athletes are good at everything they do. It doesn't matter what they pick up. It's like they're competitive at it and they're good at it almost instantly.
So, Rob, how do you poke fun at Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts? I don't know anyone who doesn't like either of these guys.
They're great guys. They're great guys. They're great leaders.
Basically, Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, there's not... Who do you make fun of in this Super Bowl?
There's no villain in this game.
Yeah.
And there's no, like...
I know you'd find a way, but...
There's a lot of villains.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, just all in green.
In red.
They're all in green, guys.
But I want to hate Travis Kelce. I want to hate Patrick Mahomes. I want to hate Isaiah Pacheco. I can't do it.
Can't. It's so hard. It's so hard. Andy Reid, love him.
He's
Love him.
adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy who's eating cheeseburgers after the game, is there anything more relatable?
Well, and the thing is, like, and the same thing you can say the Eagles. I don't have anything bad to say about the Eagles. Now, granted, I want to win.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where it stops. I don't need to trash them because they're a wonderful team. They've done amazing things this year. But so I don't have anything bad about them. I'm just really super positive about the Chiefs.
Wow. But I got a game plan to beat them.
Uh-oh.
You got to put 3 guys on Chris Jones and 3 guys on Travis Kelce.
That's it.
It's obvious. I mean, I'm not a coordinator, but
I think that's going to leave somebody open. That's just that's a hunch.
But
it's
you
a
know
gut
what?
feeling.
But Chris
Rob
Jones.
Riggle's watched a few football games. In
Chris
his life.
Jones is tearing everything up.
Chris Jones.
Stop that man.
If Chris gets motivated, and I say Chris like I know, if Mr. Jones gets motivated, there's no stopping him. There's no stopping him.
You're trying to get into the game?
I will be at the game.
Yeah.
I will be at the game. I don't know where I'm sitting. There are nosebleeds. These tickets are crazy.
Nosebleeds. Get out of here.
For real. They're $4,500 a ticket.
Why don't you just go, all those celebrity, go sit with Ant-Man.
Everybody thinks it's so easy.
Lasso.
Everybody thinks that's so easy. I'm not bothering the Chiefs organization. I'm not, this is Super Bowl week. The last thing they need to hear is from me. So I'm not bothering them.
Have
so
Paul
I'm out here,
bother them. He'll bother them.
So I'm out there hustling any angle I can get other than that. So
What do you wear?
Eagles fan?
Yeah, no.
Well, by the way, what do you guys get? What do you guys go on?
We got press passes. Sorry.
What are you wearing? What's your game day strategy?
I've got the 1990 Zuma pants. Those. The tiger print.
I want to show him something. Hold
Okay,
on.
Perloff's gonna go get his outfit. He's so excited about this. This is something that a listener.
Is it like a foam eagle head or something?
No, a listener.
Oh wow!
Sent this to us.
That's a Cunningham, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is now Perloff wore this to the NFC Championship game, so now it's good luck. And the listener sent it to us. A listener from Pennsylvania sent it to us and just said Perloff can wear it. He just asked that we ask Randall Cunningham to sign it. So now we're hunting down Randall Cunningham.
But
fair enough.
I can't wear it in the press box, so I have to wear it under
no
sports
cheering
jacket.
in the press box.
But they'll notice it.
Yeah. Well, has it been washed?
Never.
No.
Okay, that's important.
Yes.
Give it
That's
a good
important.
smell here. This is,
Are you when you wear a jersey to a game? Do you like people wear modern ones, Mahomes, or old school?
I've done both.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me pounding the war drum in my Derek Thomas jersey.
Oh, of course.
I used Lenny D when he passed away past year. I wore his 16. But I also have my 15 and my 87 that I wear quite proudly.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to love on Pachenko. So I might have to start wearing that 10 again with the Pachenko name, not the Tyreek Hill name on it. Because I do have a 10 jersey that has the Tyreek. The thing is too, like I had all these jerseys that are just the players aren't there anymore, so I had to shelve them.
Yeah, like Seinfeld said, we're all rooting for laundry. At the end of the day. Rob, on behalf of PXG Golf, can't tell you how much we appreciate this,
awesome.
and fairways and greens, my friend.
Fairways and greens.
And let's hope
That's not.
I can't say because I'm sitting
you're
next
sitting next to him.
But I'm also.
But I can feel it.
I'm with
feel
you.
it. Yeah,
I'm with you on the Chiefs. That ankle's going to be fine, everybody. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm not even sweating it.
Rob Riggle, again, on behalf of PXG, check out the web series, 6-parter. It's called Playing Around with Rob Riggle. Always cool to catch up, Rob.
Yeah, nice to see you guys.
From Radio Row is sponsored by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Small Batch Big Taste. Crunch, a low-carb snack that delivers on bold flavor. Look for them in the snack aisle at your local grocer. The chat was a big fan of Rob Riggle. Jeffrey Howe saying Riggle was great on Modern Family. He really was. And then Timothy Papow from Step Brothers. So good. Man, Rob just is awesome.
Yeah, and I hope his Chiefs fail miserably on Sunday.
Sure you do. Okay, coming up next. Now, this is somebody who, when I say who it is, half of our audience is going to be like, I love this guy and I know this guy. And I bet half of you might say, I've never heard of this guy in my life. And his name is Gary Vee. He's written 6 books. He's an entrepreneur. He's a public speaker. He is an investor in some companies you may have heard of. Facebook.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Twitter. Uber, Tumblr, all these incredible, he's a unicorn. He's like an angel investor for these unicorn companies. And the guy has such great advice. And you don't have to be a multi-millionaire like he is to take the advice. He's so good at giving regular people like us practical advice that we can use, and he's just got a great outlook on life and on everything. So if you've heard of Gary Vee, I know you're going to stick around. If you've never heard of Gary Vee, I would encourage you to stick around because he has a fantastic perspective. So if that didn't sell it, I hope it did, because he is a special dude. He's going to be on our set next. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row in just a moment.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff, and this is what I truly love about Radio Row, is that we give you Hall of Famers, we give you current stars, we give you actors and comedians, and now we have one of the biggest entrepreneurs, best-selling author, speaker. Am I going to get everything right in here? Gary
what about diehard Jets fan?
And I was going to get to diehard Jets.
First.
You got your Garrett Wilson shirt on. We had him on our set a couple days ago. Garrett Wilson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year last night, and Sauce Gardner wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's like the best moment I think the Jets have had in a decade.
Maggie, not only that, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. Great to see both
thank you,
of
Gary V.
Not only that, Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis got into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This was on my Jets thread, which is, 50 times a day with my 7 to 10 best Jets friends. We literally said, this is sad, but this is probably the second best day in Jets history behind January 12th, 1969.
It was a great day.
Rookie of the Year on both sides of the ball and 2 Hall of Famers, 2 guys that I got to watch play. Revis, I saw every snap of his career. It was a nice day, but we are very focused on this offseason. This is as big of an offseason in Jets history because the stakes are high because so many pieces are in place.
I know. You could have a direct line to Rodgers. Are you trying to plant seeds like, hey, come here, you're going to be okay?
No, I'm not. Because really, I don't like doing things when I don't have all the data. And here's what I mean by that. I've been hanging out here at Radio Row. Every question, of course, is what do you want the Jets to do at quarterback? And the reality is between Rodgers or Derek Carr, I think Tannehill's probably in play. Jimmy G. Baker, one could even bring that conversation going. What I don't know is what's the deal? I don't want Aaron Rodgers for 2 number ones and a 2 and a 3. I don't want that.
If he plays one season or whatever, yeah.
Plus the bigger conversation, which is, and I know I'm on a small island on this, but I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to throw Zach Wilson out of the equation. And what I mean by that is, tell me which person between Jimmy and Derek and Aaron at this point in their lives are also interested in allocating 5 or 10% of their energy to being a remarkable mentor and guiding light to Zach. That, if I'm Woody Johnson, which I'd like to be one day, if I'm Joe Douglas, if I'm Robert Saleh, that is a major part of this conversation that I don't think we're talking about. The pizzazz of like Aaron Rodgers, and we've done that with Brett Favre. That's like 5 minutes ago. I remember that. It's like deja vu.
Yeah.
We know what that looks like. What about the fact that you still took a kid 24 months ago, number 2 overall, and I'm very aware that it has not gone well. But I want to remind people, 4 minutes ago, Trevor Lawrence was a bust.
Yep.
A year and a half into his career, his last 9 games changed the conversation. Your boy Josh Allen's first 18 months was not super exciting. And so, like, some of these kids need time to develop.
Do you think the roster is at a place, if you add Aaron Rodgers, it could be a Super Bowl? I mean, Matthew Stafford won it with the Rams.
Yeah.
It has to be tempting. I mean, the
It
defense.
does. I would say that the Rams were so vet-oriented, and the Jets are younger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Look, the Jets have as good of a situation as in the NFL based on what their kids cost. Garrett Wilson and Sauce are 2 years ahead of time. I literally prayed to God that they would be the players they were last year in year 3. The players they were last year in year 3 was my greatest hope. Not to mention, Elijah Vera-Tucker is an all-world offensive lineman. He got hurt.
Yep.
Breece Hall looks all the part. He had 2 massive touchdown runs prior to getting hurt and was the engine of that offense. I mean, there's a lot there.
If you guys had Breece Hall, you would have beat the Bills
By the
one
way,
of
this
those
is-
games. Gary Vee, this
way
is the
too much
most
Jets
Jets
talk on Super Bowl. This is Radio Row.
By the way, we did beat the Bills one of those 2 games last year.
Yeah, no, it would have been what would have been. Okay, so Gary.
Yes.
Enough with the Jets talk.
Okay,
even
fair
though that
enough.
was a
Fair enough.
fantastic day yesterday for Jets fans and could be
Yes.
the start of something great.
Yes.
Okay, you are entrepreneur, as I said, speaker. You are an angel investor. Facebook, Twitter, like you can see things, before they come. Trends. What practical advice do you have for people who are listening, who want to see the next thing? Where is it coming? What are you looking? What do you see 18 months into the future?
I think there's a couple things. Curiosity. You're not going to find the next thing if you're not looking for it. Are you genuinely a curious person? You could say you'd like remarkable things to happen, but are you putting in the work? You two did not achieve this career in this field by mailing it in. You guys, the respect I have for everybody at Radio Row is so intense that is doing the shows, because there's so much internships, grinding, eating crow for a decade, waking up at 3 a.m. for a decade. Like, everyone sees you now, but what about the grind that got you here? So, one, if you want to find the next best thing, you got to put in the work, and you got to be curious. Number 2, it's always in your face. The answer to finding the next big thing is being a yes person versus a no person. Let me explain. The next big thing is obvious to a lot of people here. It's called Chat GPT. It's called artificial intelligence. Yeah. Everybody knows it right now. It's in the air. Do you know how many people, Mags, in this entire hall right now dismiss it as bad? Oh, it's going to take people's jobs away. So is the tractor. We were all doing farm jobs, and then a tractor was invented, and that took people's jobs away. They found different jobs. Most people are no people. No to TikTok. No to ChatGPT. No to VR. No to AR. They fear new things. No. What about streaming services in Hollywood? What about radio terrestrial? People just say no, when the world is always yes. Yeah. That's my answer to the question.
Wait, can a follow-up on that, and you'll know this as this getting into your Jets experience as well.
Please.
How do you deal with failure?
You're right.
That was a shot, but how important is it?
No, you know what's funny? I grew up a huge Yankees and New York Rangers fan, along with the Jets and Knicks. When the Rangers won the Cup in '94 and the Yankees won the World Series in '96, I stopped following them hardcore.
Why?
I'm not sure. Because it's crazy, because I really missed a good Yankees run.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gary, you bailed at the wrong time.
I didn't bail because I thought it wouldn't be good or bad or indifferent. It's that the thing was accomplished. I actually enjoy the failure. I think what makes me a weird sports fan, because that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what most people do.
Most people want to be Patriots fans now,
Correct.
Right? Chiefs fans.
Correct. I deal with failure because I don't think it means I'm a failure. I deal with failure because I think it's part of the process. It's the requirement for something great. I even am a little secretly into it. I like being underestimated. I like being razzed. I like it because I'm competitive, and I like that feeling of I'll show you but it's not a unhealthy chip on the shoulder, because I want you to win too. I just want to work for it. There's something very attractive to me of earning it versus the alternative.
Gary, last one for you.
Please.
And thanks for making time for us today, because you're awesome. People out there, if you're listening to this, if you're in a rut, if you want to change, you're not really sure even how to get started, what's the first thing? What's your advice to people?
Take a step. First of all, you know what? A deep breath is kind of neat. Like, no joke. Like, even like right now, I might want to take one. Like, it's just crazy what that does. And that actually happens physically. Like, if you're listening right now, like, actually take a very deep breath. You'd be stunned what happens. Let's actually. It's kind of like, it's interesting to me. Like, it slows it down by a hair. The virtual, like the macro mental version of that, which is if you're in a rut, everything that got you there is actually irrelevant. Irrelevant. Just because the last 42 years of your life haven't gone the way you wanted doesn't mean the next 42 can't. Being very sports nerdy about it, just because the Chargers are up 27-0 doesn't mean they're going to win the game, right? And so, to me, understanding that truth and understanding that you are actually capable of changing things, but you have to change your behavior. And so the tangible one instead of the mental one is the following. You must cut negativity out of your life, whether that is your mother. And I don't mean never talk to her again, but maybe you don't need to talk to your mom 4 times a day or she's complaining 4 times a day. Maybe it could be once every 2 days. You need to stop listening. This is why the news is a disaster for most people. All it's going to do is scare you and make you unhappy. Like, you need to start cutting negativity out, and you need to start bringing positivity in. You might have a coworker who's just genuinely a gleeful person, and you kind of know them. What about asking them out for lunch? What about becoming a friend with them? Cutting negativity, adding positivity is how you get out of ruts.
Gary,
thanks.
To have access to your brain for a little bit, like, we are better for it. Gary V, you obviously can follow him on all social channels. Best-selling author. We have 6 books now.
Yes.
Best-selling author, speaker, entrepreneur, VaynerX Media, Vayner Sports. I mean, Google him, guys. Gary V. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Back with so much more from Radio Row. Coming up next, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll do one anyway. The Hall of Famer, Emmitt Smith from your Dallas Cowboys. What does he think about Mike McCarthy now calling plays? How is it going to change the offense? And so much more. We'll get into that with Emmitt Smith. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row in Phoenix after this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flag.
Well, Super Bowl 57 just 2 days away is an intriguing matchup. The Chiefs in the big game for the 3rd time in 4 years. The Eagles looking for their 2nd title in the last 6. While most of the names around the Chiefs remain the same, the Eagles are a totally different group than the last time they were there, starting with their head coach. Nick Sirianni may be a rookie in this game, but tackling the challenge the way he would any other game.
We understand it's a Super Bowl. We're excited to be here, but we're going through the process the same way we've been going through it. I know that doesn't make for great news and great headlines, but that's just the way that's the way we've handled it for 20 weeks, and we're going to continue to handle it that way.
The Eagles are a 1.5 favorite. The Bucs go for their 10th straight win in LA against the Clippers. They've closed to within a game of the Celtics for the Eastern Conference lead. The Celtics will host the Hornets tonight. Jaylen Brown is out and might not return until after the All-Star break. He collided with Jason Tatum Wednesday, catching an elbow in the face. Tatum is questionable for tonight due to a non-COVID illness. And the new-look Suns are in Indiana, but Kevin Durant's debut will have to wait. The All-Star still sidelined with a knee injury. Pascal Siakam, Anthony Edwards, and De'Aaron Fox all headed to the All-Star game. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Hey, this is DA. CBS Sports Radio has moved to SiriusXM Channel 158. Or listen to us on your local affiliate. Find your station at Odyssey.com/stations.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Got a Hall of Famer on the set. Let's cut to the chase because I'm afraid he's going to walk away. Emmitt Smith is here from the Dallas Cowboys, and Perloff brought his Eagles jersey onto the set. How dare you do that to Mr. Smith?
You know, I was good until that point.
Oh, no.
I really was. I mean, see, there's no need to be arrogant about your opportunity.
Thank you.
And this is a clear example that you're not used to winning. No, you're not used to winning. Cowboys walk in. I don't have to say much. You say it all for me. Period. Well, you say, I'm so happy to be here again because you act like you've never been here before.
Well, Emmitt, can I tell you personally why I'm not used to winning? Because of you. I'm sitting there in the vet, 1990s.
So
Eagles are up, and then you are the reason that I'm not used to winning.
Okay, fine. I can accept that. But look at what you're doing now. You're like, oh, you had your chance. I ain't saying nothing to you about what we did. I didn't say nothing about what I did against you guys.
Oh, that's good. You didn't need to because I'll never forget it.
But you definitely reminded me right now. You're like, oh, look at us right now. Pat us on the back. Look at me now. You doing the Jay-Z? Look at me now.
You know, Emmitt, I think there are a lot of overconfident Eagles fans going into this game. Do they have a right to be confident?
Yes, they do. They have every right to be confident in this team. This team has shown, in my opinion, to play the most consistent football out of all the teams in the National Football League. And, you know, they're built tough inside out the way we were built tough inside out back in my day. And they're well-balanced offensively. You got a solid defense. And special teams-wise, they're just as solid. So this team has all the things that they need to win this game on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, you look at it, they're kind of built like your 90s Cowboys.
Yeah.
There was
I can't believe you even said that.
No, I meant that.
It's okay for me to say, but I can't believe you said it.
But it's okay. I'm allowed to say nice things about the Cowboys. It's hard, though. It's hard. But
it ain't hard for me to talk about how good your Eagles are. I
can believe that.
I know, because you have all those rings on
Yeah.
your finger.
Well, I'm talking from experience, though. I'm talking from what I see right now. I don't necessarily like the Eagles, but I'm not going to talk bad about who they are and what I see right now.
So how's this Eagles O-line compared to your amazing and unstoppable O-line from the 90s?
There's no comparison to the two. No, you can't compare the two. I mean, the Great Wall of Dallas, you saw what we used to do.
I did. But
there's
two Hall of Famers on this Philly line, possibly. Jason
Possibly.
Kelsey and
You
Lane
say
Johnson.
possibly.
Possibly.
You say possibly. Now, I'm going to go to my offensive line. We only have one Hall of Famer on my offensive line. They call my offensive line the Great Wall of Dallas. And you trying to tell me only one Hall of Famer is on that line, and we only have and you call it the Great Wall of Dallas? You have the all-time. You have the guy that has 18,355 yards, and you only have one offensive lineman in the Hall of Fame? How silly is that?
I mean,
and you telling me I wasn't so, and you telling me everything else that happened before me and what was in front of, well, he got the ball, he was 4 yards down the field. If it was that great, get me my offensive lineman into the Hall of Fame.
I know. Well, most of you guys are in, to be fair. Most of you guys on the offense are in the Hall.
Most of the popular guys are in. Well, you know, that's what it is. I mean, you got Troy, you got Michael, myself. You have Larry Allen is the only offensive lineman I has.
Who else should be in?
You got Charles Haley in there. Darren Woodson did not make it. I'm thankful that D. Ware made it.
That was great.
I'm thankful that D. Ware made it. But then I'm like, what about my lineman? How about Eric Williams? He was a
Philly guy, by the way, who turned on us.
He didn't turn on you. He didn't turn on you. He just got drafted by the Cowboys. The Cowboys knew where to go get him. But you talking about a guy like Eric Williams, you talking about a guy like Nate Newton, and you also even Mark Tournay. You trying to tell me some of these guys that were on my offensive line do not deserve to be there when they have created these running lanes for 22 and protected Troy Aikman and allowed Troy and Michael to be Michael and Troy, allowed me to be Emmitt. So I'm a little disappointed at that.
Well,
maybe we need to wipe up the selection crew with this bounty that we have in front of us.
You're here with us on behalf of Bounty. We'll get to that. You also brought chicken wings, so thank you very much for tempting us with those.
Yes.
Maybe, you know, Jerry Jones is also in the hall, so maybe he can work some back channel, you know, with glad handing people and whatnot. Okay, since we last talked to you, which was not that long ago, some changes in the Cowboys coaching staff, especially on the offensive side. So what is the offense going to look like now that Mike McCarthy's calling plays?
That's a very good question. And I have to wait to see before I give my true evaluation opinion.
Are you happy about this change?
You know, I think Kellen was good, but I think Kellen got beside himself and tried to run too many plays. And our offense, this is what I love about your Eagles team. I think y'all have a group of plays that y'all run, and you run them over and over and over again, but you run them with different personnel and disguise them differently, and you move players around. And those players run those plays and those routes precisely. Jalen know where everybody's at on the football field. You may not know, but I think they come there with that package week in and week out, and they do it consistently. And you're trying to stop it, and you can't. They own it. They have perfected it. And every defense has to adjust to whatever they're seeing. And Then there's this little package that we call building on top of these blocks, and that's expanding the offense. And that's where creativity come into play. And you got the same kind of philosophy around those packages with multiple personnel, different changes, different looks, and everything else. Guys are moving around, rotating, and they're executing it. Well, I think that's what the Cowboys need to do. Get back to something like that.
What about personnel, though? I mean, running back is kind of up in the air. What do you expect to happen next year at that position?
Well, I expect us to stay where we are with the group of guys that we actually have. Keep Tony Pollard, keep Ezekiel Elliott, and elevate Malik Davis until Pollard is ready to come back in. What's up, Chris?
That is cool.
And so,
and Chris Johnson
yes,
saying hello to
a lot of yards right
awesome.
there.
Yeah, that is.
Yes. And so I think with that, that package should be expanded upon, and I think McCarthy will try to figure out what quality players he actually have on the offensive side of the unit that he can utilize in various packages, and probably do some of the things I just talked about. That's my hope. Yeah. And if that happens, that afford Dak Prescott to truly own the offense and know where things are going. See, in our past, under Kellen, I think we was just calling damn plays just to be calling plays. I don't think we was building upon anything. There was nothing that established this that made sense to play off of that and then go to here and here. It was just play calling, and every now and then we're going to throw in a little trick play, and the trick play will work sometime then, and sometime it won't. It'd be a wasted play and all that kind of stuff. Losing momentum, gaining momentum, it was just too much.
So you don't think they need to go out and get a big name skill position to help Dak Prescott?
Oh, they have to get another skill position guy. We got to get a guy that can run routes and be able to beat man coverages, get down the field, blow the top of the zones off and the roof off, and allow CeeDee Lamb to be CeeDee Lamb instead of relying on CeeDee Lamb to catch great passes in hellacious conditions. Everybody around, he's going up and he got sharks about to eat him up. I mean, about to kill him. And so that guy is one of the best wide receivers we have, and we need to put more pieces around that.
Listen, I'm just glad you stuck around for this interview. Emmitt Smith, the Hall of Famer on behalf of Bounty, because Perloff brought that Randall Cunningham jersey on the set, and I thought you were going to
Randall Cunningham, by the way.
I knew you did.
Tell us what you're doing here with Bounty, then we'll have a Randall Cunningham Love Fest.
Yeah, I've been working with Bounty, and this is a big week. And around these big weeks, there are big celebrations. There's a lot of sauciness going on in someone's house, and someone's going to make a mess. And Bounty is here to clean it up. I mean, when you're eating wings and you're eating burgers or ribs and things that have a lot of sauce on, your hands have the tendency to get a lot dirty and sticky. And so if you don't use the right picker-upper, then you're going to have extra residue on your hands. So with Bounty, it cleans it off pretty nicely.
There you go. All right, have your Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
You love Randall.
No, I mean, obviously, rivals on the field, but the Buddy Ryan Eagles, I'm sorry, this is just for me. Did you respect how aggressive they were, or did you have a problem with that?
What I had a problem with was the recklessness of some of the play on the field. I did not have a problem with the aggression, but how reckless some of the guys were, the bounty side of it all.
I remember.
And so when you have players coming in, kamikazing their way in, and trying to take other players out and ruin their careers when everyone is out there for a career.
Yeah.
I'm not out here to hurt you intentionally unless you're playing so reckless. I have to protect myself in every which way I can. And but I had great deal of respect for guys like Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, Wes Hopkins, obviously Reggie White, Jerome Brown. You name a lot of great guys. I mean, when I got a chance to go to the Pro Bowl and meet them and sit down with them and have conversations with them and play a little golf with them, you get a chance to know people. And that transcends the game all itself. And then, but you have to understand what you're dealing with. The game itself is already physical, and there's no need to be trying to ruin guys' career over what?
A few dollars. Yeah. By the way, I think Emmitt's coming aboard. I think he's going to be rooting for the Eagles hardcore on Sunday.
I doubt that.
I never gave him a chance to talk about Kansas City, though.
Oh, we're out of time, man. I'm so sorry.
Emmitt Smith, the Hall of Famer, on behalf of Bounty, thank you so much. It is always our pleasure when we get to talk with you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Duck has made their way to the set. We asked you guys to send us your question for the Advice Duck. The Advice Duck has made her way all the way to Phoenix.
Wow, I didn't know there were ducks in Phoenix, but I guess there are.
Here
Not a
we
lot
go.
of water here.
We love that you guys have sent us in questions for the Advice Duck. You can always email us at maggieandperloff@gmail.com. You can also leave them for us at Maggie and Pearl on Twitter. And this one comes from Michael Kurtz, who's gotten a question for the Advice Duck. Here we go. It's February 3rd, and all of our office Christmas decorations have been taken down except one large Elf poster. That's the Will Ferrell movie. Will's in a full costume captioned with, "Does someone need a hug?" That's the poster that's on the door. One of the ladies in my office has complained to me, because I'm the boss, that it is still up and she wants it taken down. Another lady in my office thinks it's funny and would like to keep it up. What advice would you give? Whatever advice you give, I will follow. Thank you.
Oh, boy. That is not the question I expected. I expected something more day-to-day.
Yeah.
You know, how do I get along better with my family or something like that? This is very specific, and I love it.
No, this is specific.
I have no idea which way the Advice Duck is going to lean. I know how Maggie Gray would do it, but I don't know what the Advice Duck would do.
Okay, so that was from February 3rd. So that was a week ago. So now it's February 10th. So we're even further away. And, Michael, the Advice Duck rules that the Elf poster must come down. I know Elf is a good enough movie that you could just have movie posters up like Die Hard and Godfather, Elf. If you were
Die Hard is also a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
Right.
So Godfather and On the Waterfront and Elf. Like, if you were doing a movie theme in your office and you had all these posters on the wall of other movies, then I'd say, of course, you can keep Elf up all year round. But Elf is a Christmas movie, and if it was put up as part of the Christmas decorations, then now it must come down with the rest of the Christmas decorations.
Come on,
the
Advice Duck?
The Advice Duck has spoken.
The Advice Duck is a Scrooge. You're Scrooge McDuck. What, you don't?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that worked out well. I just sort of stumbled upon that. I understand. It is a little weird. In my mind's eye, having an Elf poster up in July,
it's not going to work.
Unless you work in a toy factory, that would make sense.
I didn't get a sense it was a toy factory.
Like a toy factory up north in the North Pole, then you could have an Elf poster.
Yes.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
A regular office, I don't know. It is an all-time classic. I think the Advice Duck is, as always, has wise wisdom.
Wise quacking.
Yes.
Okay, and just so you know, I mean, sacrifices have to be made on the show. The Advice Duck had to happen, and I'm looking at Doug Williams, who's a legend in the game, on the next set. Champ Bailey's going to join us in just a moment. He's a Hall of Famer, and I'm sitting here in a duck costume. But I'm happy to do it for the show. And I'm happy to do it for people.
For the people. No, it's not for the show.
No, for the people who need advice.
Yeah.
I'm here. Thank you, Michael, for your email.
And where do you email again for the Advice Duck? Because I have some big-time questions.
Well, you have the password, but it's Maggie and Perloff, maggieandperloff@gmail.com, or just use hashtag AdviceDuck if you leave us something on Twitter at Maggie and Pearl. All right, let's get to our buddy. Big Dave is in Kentucky. Dave, we haven't talked to you in days, man. How you been?
I don't know what to say. I mean, thank you guys so much. I mean, you obviously knew that I was listening in, probably going to check in to have the greatest cowboy ever, Emmitt Smith, on. I mean, talk some Cowboys. I mean,
he's the best.
I don't know what to say.
I know, and it pains us because he tortured Perloff and I, Eagles, Bills. I mean, but we just love him because he's so cool.
I know, but I mean, seriously, I got to tell you guys, I mean, for some reason, listening to Emmitt Smith do a Brownie paper towel commercial was like one of the weirdest things I ever heard in my life.
Dave, I'm in a duck costume. I really can't weigh in on what's weird.
Oh, man, I wish I could be online and wasn't in my vehicle. Listen, I apologize. I didn't get to listen much the last couple of days, so have you guys made your predictions yet?
No, we're doing it later in the show.
Oh, wow. Well, I was wishing we could do that now. You guys want to hear mine?
Yeah, go ahead. You got 30 seconds, Dave. We're up against the top of the hour. I'm sorry.
31-21. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, baby.
This, Dave, I didn't think you'd have it in you to go with the hated Eagles.
Well, you know what?
Dave's objective.
I'll hate them, but listen, I'm very objective, and I think it's their year. I think they're the better team. I think Jalen Hurts got robbed out of the MVP. And I'll leave it there. Can't wait to hear you guys' picks. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Give me an E. Give me an A. You know the rest. Advice, Duck. You're a bird. You're a bird. You should be into the Eagles.
GLES, got it. Champ Bailey, the Hall of Famer, is going to join us next. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Even if your team wins, let alone the losses, then you kind of like go wherever you got to go, into your dark place.
Wait. What do you mean you go into your dark place? What does that mean?
Where do you go?
I don't go into my dark place. That sounds like you have a cave in your basement where you just sit and sulk.
She's Batman?
Yeah, without the crime fighting.
It actually sounds closer to Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
A little closer, yeah.
This dark place.
You don't go into a dark place when the Eagles lose?
I don't think like
just
you
like
do.
endlessly scrolling, just like hoping that somehow the outcome changes through
So different because the last time the Eagles had that magnitude of game, they won. So I can't really relate to what it's like to have Super Bowl expectations of blow lead. So no, my dark place is not quite as dark because there's been light down there.
Amazing.
Unlike your dark place.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Maggie and Perloff from Radio Row is sponsored by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. These protein-packed snacks that are as bold as you are. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Look for them in the snack aisle at your local grocer. It is Maggie and Perloff, and we haven't talked a lot. We've talked to a lot of Hall of Famers, but we haven't talked about last night's ceremony. And to help us with that, let's bring in a Hall of Famer and someone who is, despite just being in the Hall of Fame, is even more unique company. I'll explain it in a moment. Champ Bailey is here with us on the set, the Hall of Famer. And Champ, it is so good to see you. So last night, Darrelle Revis gets in as a first ballot Hall of Famer, and this is a very small group of men who have gotten in as defensive backs in their first season of eligibility. It was Charles Woodson, Troy Polamalu, yourself, Ed Reed. You had to go back to Deion Sanders before that.
Right.
And then Darrelle Revis gets in last night. Is this like an extra special fraternity that you guys have, like a wing within the hall?
I honestly don't think about the ballot until you kind of bring it up and we talk about it. But because I look at a guy like Ty Law, who's, one of my guys that I looked up to. I look at guys like him, Rondé Barber, who just got in as well.
Yep.
Like, these guys weren't first ballot, but they were dominant players.
Yeah,
and people had the game plan for them. So I respect them to the fullest. Now, Darrelle Revis, when he played, he was dominant.
Yeah.
For that short period of time that he played, he was so dominant, it warranted him to get that gold jacket on the first try.
It's always funny with a cornerback, though. When you're dominant, you're taken out of the game in a way.
Yeah.
Revis, I remember, barely. There were seasons where he had no picks because he didn't see any action. Is that ever frustrating? Is that ever frustrating when you're a shutdown cornerback that you're not involved in a way?
Well, it can be, but it's an ultimate sign of respect.
Yeah.
So you have to take it as it comes. And, one thing about it is I didn't get tested a lot, but for some reason we found ways in my day to make plays, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you always wanted to do at the end of the day. How do you affect the game, make plays along the way?
Yeah.
Champ Bailey is here with us on the set as a part of True Leave, which is an industry-leading cannabis company and multi-state operator in the U.S. We are streaming live on youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, and we affectionately call the people in our chat weirdos because they're weirdos, but they seem to like to indulge in that thing. So we'll get to that in a moment. They're going to be very interested in your work that you're doing here, Champ.
Good.
For a team that you spent most of your career, and I know you weren't drafted by them, but spent most of your career with the Denver Broncos, so many changes going on. So first of all, do you know the new ownership group? Like, have you got a chance to talk with basically the Walmart family?
Fortunate enough, I have had a couple conversations with Greg Penner. So, I'm aware of where they're trying to take the franchise. And, I haven't been involved since then, but, I'm always a Bronco, right? But I think that's going to determine where they go, how they lead, how they direct this franchise, because it's not like they have to rebuild the culture there. It's really not that bad. I mean, the fan base is great. They have great facilities. They have great culture. It's just now the leadership's changed. So can you keep that leadership that Pat Bowlen had presented to you or left you before he passed away? Can you keep that strong leadership in the community? That's what's really going to dictate how many wins they get along the way.
It's interesting when you look at Sean Payton's decisions. There are a lot of teams that wanted him, probably. To me, Denver is the ultimate football town. There's just such a history there, and it's a town that you drive around there. They're building every day. Everyone wants to move to Denver.
Yeah,
I think that was part of the draw. I think the franchise history and the city were probably a factor for Payton. What do you think?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it's great weather, great conference to be in, great division to be in. I mean, everything
tough
about
division.
Tough division. Though. I mean, it's a little scary, that part.
The history of the Denver Broncos is attractive. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to go, right? And for him, he's going in when we've been at one of our lowest points in franchise history. So if you don't have a really broken culture and you can go in, kind of fix some things, you're set up for success. I mean, that's what I expect.
I mean, it could be like a sleeping giant kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
I can't imagine how tough it was for you to watch last season. Get to that in a moment. But I know you were defensive side of the ball, but obviously you know offense, and you had to study quarterbacks because obviously you're trying to get the best of them.
Yes, ma'am.
So the Sean Payton, Russell Wilson connection, like what are you expecting year one from these two guys?
I expect greatness. Now, people do have to keep in mind, this is Russell Wilson's third offense in 3 years. I mean, that's a challenge in itself. Like, so we gotta give them a little bit of room to mesh, right? But do they have time? We're in this win now kind of society.
Nathaniel Hackett didn't get any time.
Oh, no time at all. You know, but of course those were some other underlying issues that were in the building that you probably don't hear about, right? But when Sean Payton comes in, you know he's not leaving after this first year.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to, right? He's going to get a chance to do his thing. Is Russell the guy? It's all about how they clash, how he learns from Payton. Do they mesh? You know, play calling. Can he pick up the offense fast enough? That's what's really going to matter.
Okay. Can you clue us in on what were some of the underlying things that were going on last year?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Hackett,
I don't work there. I don't work there.
You hear things, Julie, just because it seemed like though from the very first game, and not to pile on Nathaniel Hackett, he's now the offensive coordinator for the Jets, but like it just seemed like he was in over his head, and it seemed like the organization tried to get him some more help along the way. But you know, once the season is started, like the train's on the tracks, it can be hard to make some big changes.
But that's what we saw, right, in real time.
Yeah,
we saw like decision making early in the season, you know, fourth downs, you know, time management. Those are rookie coach mistakes. Usually you get a chance to come back from those things. You learn, you grow, you get better. That's why I say there's some other things going on that we don't know about, and that it's the day-to-day that gets you fired. It's not just a bad moment here, a bad moment there. No, it's something that structurally was wrong, and they had to remedy it, and that ultimately got him fired.
You don't think it's just the wins and the losses get you fired? You're saying that
well, that's the result of the bad foundations.
Okay.
You know, bad pieces here, things that just weren't organizationally right.
Yeah, I get it.
I make excuses. I mean, the injuries were brutal last year. I mean, they've been brutal for a few years now. I feel
you know who deals with injuries all the time? Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And they were right there almost making the playoffs again this year, even when they lost TJ Watt for like, what, 6 games?
Yeah. Think about it.
Right, so no excuses.
Exactly, no excuses.
Yeah.
By the way, when can I ask about the Eagles cornerbacks?
Hold on, say what? You know, we talk so much about the NFL because we're on Radio Row and the Super Bowl's in 2 days, but we have a lot of people listening to us now, Champ, who are massive college football fans. Obviously, I'm sure incredibly proud alum
Go Dogs,
of the University of Georgia. Are they the new Alabama?
No, we're the same old Georgia. We just win more games. I'm not going to insert Alabama.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But, you know, we're
the
just,
new dynasty.
We're doing what we should have been doing a long time ago, is recruiting in state, keeping our talent, and investing in the right things. And that's what Kirby Smart has done to change this thing. It's not like we, you know, had a bad culture or anything. It was really, let's go in, let's do this thing the right way. Put our money behind the things that actually gets us wins and losses.
now, Eagles?
No, let's talk about True Leave. This is what you're here on behalf of. Perloff, our Eagles
Come
fan.
on, they got Darius Slay, they got Bradbury.
Hold on. Let's talk about True Leave because our listeners will also be very interested in the industry-leading cannabis company that Champ Bailey is a part of. So are you a user? Are you just an interested party? What's your relationship with True Leave and with the cannabis industry?
Well, being a user is one thing, but that doesn't afford you the right to get into business, right? So that doesn't help. But I'm a businessman now. Since I left the game, business has been my focus. And one of the businesses that always been in my face is the marijuana business. And, I live in Georgia, very conservative state, slow moving, lack of progression. They just don't take to these things very well. So what I've been able to do is team up with True Leave. Now, they come in as a multi-state operator, but they come to Georgia wanting to get awarded a license. That's where I come in. We work together. I end up being the chief diversity officer for my state and equity holder. So I'm in a position now to really spread the word about what this thing can do for us, the benefits of it, and how it can help the community, right? Like, I think about how it's negatively affected my community over the years. Now I'm in a position to go back and help my community with True Leave's help and support and actually be effective, get more people like me in the business, get more people like me to take down that stigma and stop thinking it's a bad thing. There's a lot of good from this, and we just got to look at it that way.
And also just bringing it above board,
Absolutely.
right? Like bring everything out into the open,
talk about it. Have some dialogue around what it is, how it affects people, why do people need it. There's a lot of people that really could use it right now, and we still haven't got to the point where we're distributing it. But it's legal.
Yeah, right.
So it's, so we'll get there. We'll get there.
Got it.
Okay, now you can ask about your Eagles.
I mean, I'm just saying. All I'm saying
Sorry,
is,
Champ. It's been a lot of Eagles talk. We're
I'm
here
from Philly.
All good. I get it. These Philly guys, I know.
I know, Champ. You know.
Well, we were talking
We're in
about,
the division for a while.
We were talking about shutdown corners. And this is actually Maggie Gray's take. When Bradbury came over from the Giants, and you had Darius Slay, and then they signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you could argue those cornerbacks are what make that defense go. I know the sacks. That's a pretty impressive trio.
Yeah, and you look at their cornerbacks, Bradbury, Slay, they're big cornerbacks.
Yeah.
They're not like your typical cornerback. Like, these dudes are big. They're vets. I mean, they're in the prime of their career. I remember when Bradbury was in Carolina, one of his teammates, Mike Adams, kept calling me, man, you got to talk to this guy. He reminds me of you. Like, I'm like, why? Because he wears my number? Like, he's like, stop insulting me. He's like, nah, Champ, this guy's good. And, then I started watching him. I'm like, man, this dude is special. And for some reason, you starting to see it. And I'm glad he's on this stage because now everybody can witness how good this kid is. This kid has been good for a long time.
Yeah, he killed the Eagles when he was on the Giants.
Right.
I couldn't believe. I mean, I guess it was a financial thing. Big play Slay. He's got the swagger, though. I mean, some cornerbacks have it.
And he backs it up, man. He backs it up. I love that about him, man. And, Dre Bly told me a long time ago about him, like, this guy's the real deal.
Yeah. But
it's working out.
If you were facing Patrick Mahomes, would that make you nervous?
Yeah, always. I think it would be for everybody.
What's up?
That's one of my guys, Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So, describe, though, you're going in to play Mahomes. What's the game plan?
Keep him contained, right?
Good luck.
It's really about that defensive line. You got to keep him in the pocket. If he extends plays, it's a problem. And, for a secondary, Travis Kelce is so unique. You can't get caught up in every catch he makes. What you can't allow him to do is catch and run. Like, if he catches and runs, he sees space, that's when he becomes a real big issue.
Oh, all right. I don't want to hear about it. No.
Nervous.
Edit that part out about the Chiefs being unstoppable.
I'm sorry, I can't do that. We're live. And, Champ, we can't tell you how much we appreciate this. The Hall of Famer, Champ Bailey, we loved watching you on the field.
Oh, thank you.
Just wreaking havoc. You're more than well-deserving first ballot Hall of Famer, and now working with True Leave, Chief Diversity Officer, trying to open things up in Georgia. Good luck with all of that. You can find more True Leave, TruLieve.com if you're interested. Champ, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Maggie. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. All right, we still have a lot to do here from Radio Row. We have got picks that we have to make. Perloff and I are in a dogfight in terms of who is going to win this season with our year-long picks contest. We've got more guests for you on the way as well.
Can't wait. Oh, my gosh.
A certain quarterback from a certain team in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I got my game pick. I got my over-under. I'm grinding on the prop, Maggie. I got to get this right.
I have faith in you. Maggie and Perloff, we're here, Radio Row. Weedos in the chat, that was for you. And, of course, we are across the country on our incredible CBS Sports Radio affiliates. Get involved with the show. We can take some phone calls, too, at 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff in just a moment.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
First time ever, stream the Super Bowl for free. Super Bowl 57 is here, and it's on Westwood One, Sunday, February 12th. Catch all the action on the Odyssey app on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. It's all sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone, the free AutoZone Fix Finder service, can help troubleshoot the cause of your pesky check engine light for free, and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Now, Maggie, I did something earlier today that was a lot of fun.
What was that?
You
didn't invite me.
No, you were here.
Oh.
It was right here. I pulled out my Eagles jersey to sort of troll Emmitt Smith, the former Cowboy.
Yeah, that turned out great.
But I'm a nice guy, so I'm not going to do that with our upcoming guest here.
Please don't, because we want to try to make a good impression with one of the best stories in the NFL this season, and that's 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy, who's good enough to join us. Brock, I mean, people have probably told you this a million times. It was like a movie watching you. I mean, did it feel like your real life, or did you even think, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. But yeah, the whole ride, I'm just thankful how it all played out, and just stayed ready for my moment, and had a great team around me to go on a run and make it to the NFC Championship. But yeah, what a dream.
We talk about guys like you have to have this crazy confidence in yourself that even if you're the third guy on the depth chart, that you feel like if I need to, I can come in and help my team win a game. Like, was there a point when your confidence ever wavered and you weren't sure if you were that guy, or once you got out there, took a couple snaps, you're like, all right, I know this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to my faith first, just knowing who I am and what my purpose in life is. And so from that, I can go and have confidence in who I am and play the game and play the position of quarterback. And so back in camp, I believed from day one when I got there, like, I can do this, I can make the team and make the throws and lead an offense and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got my opportunity, I was like, I'm ready for this.
Brock, how does it work? Because I know we always hear first team reps, second team reps, third team reps. You could get chemistry with these guys even though you weren't first team reps at the time. I mean, how important is it for a wide receiver and a quarterback to get to know each other?
I mean, it's huge. The way Brandon Ayuk runs a route compared to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, like, everyone has their little intrinsic ways of running a route or making a cut. So for me, sitting back and watching, Jimmy taking little notes, like, man, BA comes out a lot quicker than Deebo, but Deebo stops on a dime, and just little things like that. So when I did get in, I think we picked up right where they left off when Jimmy went down. So.
Brock Purdy is our guest. He's joining us here on Radio Row. Part of the He Gets Us commercials, which we've been seeing a lot this year. We'll ask you about it in just a moment. Okay, so where are you right now with the elbow? We all watched in the NFC Championship game. First of all, what did it feel like? Can you take us through that game a little bit with having to leave the game? The cameras could catch you on the sideline saying, I can't grip the ball or I can't throw to Kyle Shanahan. But then because Josh Johnson gets a concussion, you did have to go back into the game. Can you walk us through that time?
Yeah, I mean, it was just rough. Just, my arm got, bent back as I'm throwing forward. So then my UCL literally tore. We found that out after, though. So during the game, I'm like, man, I don't know if it's torn. I don't know if it's strained. I go to the sideline, I try to throw. They're taping me up in all these different directions. But I tell them, like, man, I can't throw. And I threw 2 passes later, which were screens, but I hand grenade through them. And but I told him, I said, Josh needs to go in. He needs to be the guy to run the offense because I don't want to go out there and hurt the team in any way. And we're trying to go to the Super Bowl. And so it sucked because I didn't know exactly what it was. I'm on the sideline, and if it was a AC sprain or something in my shoulder, it's like, man, I'm playing. This is the NFC Championship. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl. But literally, I tried throwing 10 yards, and the ball kept dying, and I couldn't feel my arm. Felt like I got shot in my arm, right where that ligament is, and so it was tough.
Did you get the feeling back in your arm now?
Yeah, now I can, just move it and do small movements, but the minute I go to pick it up to throw and go in that throwing motion, it kills.
So what's the next steps? Like, I'm sure you talk about this with your agent, your family, all of that, like surgery, or what's next?
Yeah, they're suggesting surgery in 2 weeks. We have something lined up. The surgeon's going to go in, and the plan for right now is get the repair with the brace, which is a 6-month recovery, and should be back by camp.
The final score was 31-7, but it was 7-7 in the first quarter. Obviously, you left early. That 31-7 score, I'm an Eagles fan. I was there in the building, full disclosure, but it didn't really feel like that's the game we would have had if everything had gone normally. How confident were you coming into that game, and how do you think it could have played out, if you were there all game? Because these were two evenly matched teams, despite the score.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think starting off with our defense, they did a great job, early on. It's like, man, how they looked. We were like, man, we're confident that they can do their thing and stopping the Philadelphia offense. And then right when we came out, the first 4 or 5 plays, we're like, man, we're rolling and we feel good. And coming into the game, we were very confident. And for myself, like, I knew what we were attacking, and so we felt good. And so obviously when that happened, it's like, man, I went down. Fred went down early.
Yeah.
Then he came back in. Yeah. Yep. Josh went out. Nick got clipped on the sideline. So it just felt like everything just wasn't aligning in the right way, sadly. But it is what it is. It's football. It's part of the game.
What were some of the conversations that Kyle Shanahan was having with you throughout the year, as it's like, okay, here we got a 7th-round rookie, Mr. Irrelevant is getting thrown in, and then it's like, all right, well, now he's our quarterback. And, like, how did the conversations change throughout the season as you became more and more entrenched as, hey, this is our starter?
Yeah. I think when I came in against Miami, it was great. We won. But then I think the true test was the next game, for Tampa Bay. How was that going to go? But once we went in and rolled and put up 28 points in the first half, I think that's when the guys were like, okay, we can roll with this rookie and make a run. And so that was really, I think, the first time that all happened, and he trusted me and told me, like, man, you're good enough to lead us to the Super Bowl and go. And so we had a great run. Obviously didn't fall into place at the end, but I'm thankful how I had an opportunity and a shot to do what I did.
Wait, when did Kyle Shanahan first mention you're good enough to lead us to the Super Bowl? Like after that Tampa game?
Yeah. We had talked and said, yeah, we believe in you. We're going all in. We're not going to go out and get another quarterback or do anything. Like, we believe in you.
So. What does Kyle Shanahan do for a quarterback?
I think, the system that he runs, it's a great run offense first, and then the play action comes off of that. The drop back game is great. Everything just ties together. And so if how to study and go about things the right way, then he goes into a game plan and you can trust every play that he calls, and it all aligns in the right way. So he makes it easy for a quarterback, I think.
All right, want to go back to draft night. I'm curious, when it was you were the last pick of the 2022 draft, when it was getting towards the end, did you have a preference? Do I want to get picked here, or do I want to choose my own team as a free agent? Where was your head at that point of the evening?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think if you ask any player, they want to get drafted.
They do, okay.
And then you're going into the 7th round, though. It's like, yeah, now I have to get things aligned in terms of, if I don't get drafted, what team am I going to go to, what cult, like everything, right? But for myself, man, the fact that I got drafted, even though it was the last slot, in my mind, it's like, man, I was wanted in a sense.
Yeah.
I have an opportunity, and now what am I going to do with that opportunity?
Yeah.
So I was thankful for it.
You got a pretty good coach that drafted you as well,
no
so
doubt.
that worked out.
Yep.
Brock Purdy is joining us. We watch the He Gets Us commercials. We're watching them all now during football season, but this speaks to you in a very deep way.
Yeah, I mean, just what I believe in terms of, in God and Jesus Christ, and believing, he came and died for our sins, and that we can spread his love, the way he lived life. With the craziness that goes on in our world today, and being able to just, spread love the way Jesus did. That's the biggest thing with this campaign of He Gets Us, and we'll see commercials in the Super Bowl, so I'm very thankful for it.
Are you in one of the commercials? Or
No.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you really were busy this season.
Yeah.
Shooting commercials on the side. No. Brock Purdy is here with us. Okay, so now you're going to go into the off season. You're going to go through your recovery. And then when training camp comes around, you are not the only quarterback who's on the roster. Obviously, Trey Lance is still on the team. Jimmy G, we never know with you guys with Jimmy G. I mean, you guys being the 49ers. Like, is he going to be on the team? Is he not? We know enough now not to predict that one. Do you know that you will be the starter, or do you have to fight for the job again? Like, has Kyle Shanahan told you what your mindset should be going into camp?
Yeah, I mean, he did say, you have to just get healthy. That's the first and foremost thing. Like, that's the most important thing right now is I have to get healthy, see where I'm at, and we'll go from there. But obviously Trey's coming around the corner. He's going to be healthy here soon, and we're all excited to have him back. And at the end of the day, both Trey and I, we want to win. We want to win a Super Bowl for this organization, and we're going to do what it takes to do that. We'll compete and bring the best out of each other, but there's no decision made. I think it's way too early to even talk about things like that. But we just got to get healthy first.
Yeah, because you guys your playing styles could not be more like different ends of the spectrum, right? It's like, well, I mean, you do great on the bootlegs and the rollouts. I mean,
you did
a lot of evasiveness.
Move your feet a lot.
Yeah. I think just his system, the way he calls plays and stuff, he could tailor it to Trey or I, but overall the system that he runs, I think Trey and I can both go in and be successful in it.
So if you're here this weekend, this is probably the only time I could beat you in a throwing contest right now.
No, Perloff.
I don't know. Maybe lefty, I can pull it off.
I believe in Brock.
I didn't think of your left hand. Oh no! Good thing I didn't bet any money on that. That would have really cost me.
Good. You know how he said I could through two passes grenade style? His grenade style would be your pro style.
Now his left would destroy me. How far can you throw a lefty?
I could probably push 35, 40.
Wow.
Did anyone talk about that during the game? Like, hey, why don't you just throw left-handed?
Nah, we didn't get to that point. It was more we'd rather trust the run game than throw lefty. So
Patrick Mahomes throws a lefty once in a while.
Every once in a while he does.
It's a good challenge.
And we're here like in your hometown. We're really close to Gilbert, Arizona, where you went to high school and where you grew up. I mean, do you have anything planned for this weekend? Because you could be sort of hosting a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the Super Bowl festivities, meeting a lot of great players around the league, and then seeing family, friends, just trying to enjoy my time home.
Is there a person who you meet now who maybe wouldn't have known who you were, maybe when, I know you're a 4-year starter in college, but someone who now comes up to you and says, hey, Brock, I'm a big fan, that maybe would have made, that you were surprised by?
I think last night, we're on the red carpet and Joe Namath, and meeting him, and then him telling me, keep it up, man, I'm a big fan. Like, that was awesome. And for my family to meet him, too, because my dad grew up an Alabama fan, and obviously Joe's a great there. So just meeting people like that, it's a blessing.
Brock, we appreciate it so much. Thanks for making the time to come by our set. We're wishing you the best in your recovery, and let's let the story continue because it's a really great one.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate that. Brock Purdy from the San Francisco 49ers. Good enough to join us on Maggie and Perloff. All right, we've got a lot to do here. We've got picks that we have to make. We've got a lot on the line here. The advice duck came and went. If you missed that, you got to download the Maggie and Perloff podcast after the show. We are across the country on CBS Sports Radio. Our incredible affiliates. We're streaming live, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. There's more Maggie and Perloff after this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
CBS Sports Radio. Sports Flash.
Patrick Mahomes is coming off his second MVP, and on Sunday will try to win the Super Bowl for the second time. His ankle injury has been one of the biggest stories of the week. Mahomes has said the ankle is fine. His head coach, Andy Reid, echoed that. However, the MVP is in for his biggest challenge of the season against the Eagles D.
They're great everywhere, so it's hard to pick one. Obviously, I'd probably say the defensive line just because, they're on a historic sack rate and the way they're able to get to the quarterback. And so everybody knows that everything starts up front, and so it'll be a great challenge for our offensive line to try to do what they can in the run game and the pass game of protecting and run blocking.
The Eagles' 70 sacks this year, the fourth most in NFL history. Former Cardinals coach Cliff Kingsbury reportedly in Houston today interviewing for a position on DeMeco Ryan's staff. The Bucks and Celtics are staging a great battle in the East. Boston has a one-game lead over Milwaukee and will host the Hornets. All-star Jaylen Brown is out after taking an elbow to the face Wednesday in a collision with teammate Jason Tatum, who could also be out tonight with a non-COVID illness. The Bucks are in L.A. going for their 10th straight against the Clippers, and the Mavericks and Kings are both coming off back-to-back wins and will square off in Sacramento. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Coming up later on the Zach Gelb Show, it's a Football Friday on Radio Row from Arizona. Donovan McNabb and Aidan Hutchinson stop by. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie Perloff, Phoenix, Arizona, Radio Row. Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer, and then getting a chance to talk to Brock Purdy, Perloff, in our last segment was really nice. You know, he is the story of the year in the NFL.
Did I restrain my Eagles fandom in front of him enough? I didn't want to make it any harder on him.
Well, considering you've now put on the Randall Cunningham jersey, I do not think that the Eagles fandom has been restrained at all. And if you want to watch Perloff in this green jersey, we are streaming live, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Okay, let's get to it. It's our Casamigos shot of the day.
He shoots! He scores!
The shot of the day is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos is brought to you by those who drink it. Today's shot of the day actually has to do with this jersey that Perloff has put on. When the great Emmitt Smith was nice enough to grace our set, Perloff had to pull out the Eagles jersey. I'm afraid he's going to walk away. Emmitt Smith is here from the Dallas Cowboys, and Perloff brought his Eagles jersey onto the set. How dare you do that to Mr. Smith?
You know, I was good until that point.
Oh, no.
I really was. I mean, see, there's no need to be arrogant about your opportunity.
Thank you.
And this is a clear example that you're not used to winning.
Emmitt, can I tell you personally why I'm not used to winning? Because of you. I'm sitting there in the vet, 1990s.
So
Eagles are up, and then you are the reason that I'm not used to winning.
Fine. I can accept that.
You know what's so funny? And that was a great moment. And Emmitt was, you got Emmitt riled up when you pulled out the jersey, like for real, not a bit. But what's amazing is you're like, yeah, you in the 90s. Like you mentioned an entire decade. It wasn't like you in 1992, you killed our team. It's like just the 90s.
I didn't need to have a specific moment. And a lot of fan bases can completely relate to what I'm saying now.
Yep.
It was an entire decade. It wasn't him alone. Listen, I hate Michael Irvin. I hate Troy Aikman. I actually, personally, they're fine.
Yeah, no, sports hate.
Yeah, sports
fan hate.
And Emmitt did make an argument that all his offensive line should be in the Hall of Fame. That's true. They were, Maggie, you're a Bills fan. You know what they could do.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I'm aware of what Emmitt Smith was able to do, especially in the Super Bowls. So that was really, really fun to be able to talk with Emmitt Smith. And, you know, what I thought was interesting about what he said, and, you know, I kind of agree with him. He said he's looking forward to Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Not sure yet what it's going to look like, but said, you know, Kellen Moore felt like instead of like having a philosophy about offense, he was just calling plays.
Yeah.
A trick play here, this play there, felt disjointed.
That's a great point. You could call it, if you have the single best play, if it's not part of a cohesive plan, then what does it mean? Kind of, Brock Purdy was just talking about Kyle Shanahan, and starts with the run game, then everything comes off of there. I'm getting the sense that running an offense and being a great offense coordinator isn't as easy as I think it is from the couch, Maggie.
You're just getting that now. Yeah. Okay, so that was really fun. Guys, Casamigos Tequila, you know that they are a partner with this show, and we're so proud of that. You're thinking about your Super Bowl party. You're getting ready. All right, you got the food all set. Now you got to think about the bar, because you don't want to neglect that. We know that you could just be lazy and basic and just get a couple bottles of beer, cans of beer. What you want to do, though, check out the Casamigos website, Casamigos.com. What I really love about what they have is it's something for everyone. I like the light Casamigos margarita because everything else I'm going to eat is going to be heavy.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're not going to hold back on Sunday.
No, I mean, why? Listen, why not? It's Super Bowl Sunday.
Just like Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are going to leave it all out on the field. Maggie is going to leave it all out on the plate.
There you go. The Casamigos Blanco Tequila, the fresh lime juice, the nectar. If you want to get fancy, the orange bitters, it's all there for you. Okay, we've got to get to our picks for the season, Perloff. Thank you, Stu.
Oh, boy.
All right, Samter, what do you have?
It is close. The fact that after all of the season and the playoffs, there are 2 games separating Perloff and Maggie. Perloff is 35-28. He's at a 71% clip over the last 8 weeks. He is on fire. Maggie, you are at 33-30. You're only 2 games behind, but like this is going to be like down to the wire to see what happens on Sunday.
How we do it here on the Maggie and Perloff show. You know, if you've been with us all season, 3 picks. over-under against the spread and a prop that we like, and now it's down. This is our Super Bowl. This is our betting Super Bowl. So
technically, yeah, it is everybody's Super Bowl bet.
And everybody's bet. But
usually you say
picks,
this is, yeah, but usually you say it's our Super Bowl when it's a non-Super Bowl event, and you're trying to explain the magnitude of it. You can't call the Super Bowl our Super Bowl.
All right, this is our Stanley Cup final. This is it. This is the whole enchilada. How about that?
Yeah. So this is interesting because I could just pick everything you pick and go away tied and be fine. So it should.
I know, but like we had Aidan Hutchinson on before, like the Detroit Lions. Even if you might end up getting eliminated, Perloff, you need to play fair game. Like you can't just try to game this thing.
Okay, I'm the Detroit Lions.
You got to try hard.
Why don't I go first on every pick and then you can make a decision?
Okay, there you go.
Do it. Okay.
I love it. So what do you want to do first against the spread?
So last week or 2 weeks ago, I picked the Eagles over the Niners. So you have to do exactly what you did. Spread is Eagles minus 1.5 on DraftKings right now. I just have to go with what I did last time. Eagles cover.
You're going to take the Eagles. You're going to lay the 1.5. I love how you're doing this where you're like, no. It's only good luck because I did it in the NFC Championship game. Not, I'm a confident Eagles fan.
I have to admit, this is actually one of the closest matchups ever. I'm not sure if I didn't have Eagles on the brain. I'm not exactly sure how I would see this game. There's such a football argument to think the Eagles are better. Their offensive line and defensive line have been punishing people. As long as they're not uptight for the game like I will be, I think they have the edge up front. That's going to be the difference.
Okay, well, if you're going to take the Eagles and you're going to lay the 1.5, then, thank you very much because I will take the Chiefs and I'll take the 1.5, and I'm going to bet against you in this game. And it's because I do believe it. I think that the Eagles just haven't played anybody. And when is the last time the Eagles played a meaningful game where they were tested? It was walkover. Once Brock Purdy, who was our guest here on Radio, once he got hurt, that game was never going to be a real game, despite the 49ers defense. Against the Giants no-showed in that game. They clearly felt like mission accomplished just making the playoffs. They didn't even really put up a great fight in that game. So we got to go back. Like the Eagles haven't played with stakes like this. Not only that, they haven't faced a quarterback as good as Mahomes, and not even close. And if Brock Purdy was on our set still, he'd tell you the same thing. They have not faced even Mahomes if he's 85% or whatever. This is different. So I like the Chiefs in this game, and I also think the Chiefs defense. Steve Spagnuolo, been there before, coaching Super Bowl caliber defenses. For big games, he and Andy Reid come up with this game plan. If he could take out Tom Brady, I know he's a different style than Mahomes, but if he can take down Tom Brady when he was the defense coordinator for the New York Giants, I think he'd do the same thing to Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I get it. I think you actually are. I don't think you're doing that just to counter me. I think you really kind of believe this. And I've been following your logic all week. I get it. And listen, the Chiefs are not as easy as beating Tom Brady and the Patriots. The Eagles are going to have to work hard this time. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, the points. 51. 51. All logic says under. Patrick Mahomes has a high ankle sprain. The Eagles want to run the ball. And that is why I'm definitely going over. I think the Eagles' offense will have success, and I think Mahomes is healthy enough that even if he falls behind, which I don't necessarily see happening, I think he's going to have a big productive day. I feel more comfortable with the over of 51.
So I'm trying to think about this strategically because I also like the over.
Too bad. Well, come on.
No.
51 means almost every possession has to end up in a score. So that's a huge number.
Yeah. Just because I have to try to win our contest, I've got to go against you. So I will take the under in this game for our purposes. Listen, I'll talk myself into it. I think that the Chiefs are going to be able to make plays. And obviously, we know that the Eagles' defense is awesome. You rotate guys in on the defensive line, just like you did 5 years ago in the Super Bowl when you beat the Patriots. You have a really good secondary. We talked to Champ Bailey, the Hall of Famer, about Bradbury, about Slay. Yeah. It was fantastic. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So, okay, maybe I've talked myself into the under.
51 is a hard number to hit. It's a really hard number to hit. And anyway, I did that more out of emotion. I don't think you have to sell yourself on that. Okay. Now, I'm stuck between two props.
Pick one.
There's two really popular props out there, and I want to play it safe and go with one of these. The first one is Isaiah Pacheco of the Chiefs, 15.5 receiving yards. Everybody's talking about that particular prop. I can't do it. I can't pick a Chiefs. I can't do it.
Go all Eagles.
So I'm going to go with the Eagles one. My man, the greatest running back no one ever heard of until about 3 weeks ago, Kenneth Gainwell, 19.5 rushing yards. He is going to top that by the second quarter. Go Ken Gainwell. I want a Gainwell jersey. I have to be honest. I've been thinking about if I can buy any jersey off this team, it's Gainwell by a mile.
Really?
Yeah. I was at the
Not
Eagles.
Jalen Hurts?
There's very few Hurts jerseys. There's so many Brian Dawkins and Reggie White jerseys.
Well.
People have not adjusted to this team yet. Hurts is in his second year really as a starter. So, no, it's not going to be Hurts. Everyone can do Hurts. Everyone can do the cornerback. Gainwell is a cool jersey, and hopefully he's a cool prop bet.
And hopefully cashes in for you. Okay, mine's going to be a little different if you'll allow me.
Sure.
And I'll throw myself to the committee here because I saw this prop because, Super Bowl, you get all these props that there's so many more than just a regular week in the NFL. How about this? Will you allow me to do this? The prop bet is both teams will have a lead in the second half. Or would you rather me do both teams will have a lead in the fourth quarter?
What are the odds?
Fourth quarter is plus 275.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the second half? That seems unfair.
Plus 145. You want to do fourth quarter? Or second half?
I think second half and plus 145 is a lot more fair.
Okay, so both teams will have a lead in the second half, plus 145. Will you allow it, committee?
I definitely will allow it. Now, I'm surprised how that works. Is that a rare occurrence? I guess that in the Super Bowl, because that means it's going to be a super, super close game, and it's 1.5 point. I'm trying to think of how all these work together. So if both teams have a lead, 1.5 points isn't going to really do anything for you. You know, if the Eagles win by a field goal, I get it. The Chiefs win, you get it all. Yeah, I'll allow it. And I think that's a pretty cool bet. That's a lot of fun.
Cool bet,
yeah, that's a lot of fun. You can enjoy the game and hope for a close game.
It's kind of like with both teams kind of flip-flopping because I think it's actually going to be that kind of game. I think it's going to be a game where, both teams have a lead in the second half, obviously, and I think it's going to come down to a final drive. Like, I really do think it's going to be that close.
I assume the Rams-Bengals, I know they both teams had a lead in the second half. Did that go into the fourth quarter? I think it did.
Now I can't remember exactly.
I can never remember.
Yeah.
I know definitely the Niners had a big lead over the Chiefs with Mahomes a couple years ago. So if Mahomes does anything like that game, then you're going to hit it big time.
Well, the one thing I don't agree, like we've talked about this a little bit. What happens to the Eagles if the Chiefs get up by 2 scores? Are they going to be able to come back? I don't actually have a problem with that. I think the Eagles will be able to come back even if the Chiefs jump out into a big lead. I think they get themselves back in the game.
Well, honestly, you know what I wanted to pick? Jalen Hurts, 50.5 yards rushing total. I think Jalen Hurts running is going to be a huge factor in this game.
I got a prop for you if you want that.
Hit me.
Okay.
I thought 50.5 was a big number.
So let's just do those were the official picks.
Yeah.
So those are the official picks for the Super Bowl. Thank you, Stu. That's the official pick. Now let's just talk about some other things that we like. By the way, we also have to get to our Ask the Pros. You can do a prop where it's Jalen Hurts 30 or more rushing yards in the first half, 30 or more rushing yards in the second half.
I'd go first half.
No, that's the bet. You need 30 in both halves.
That's got to be long odds. That's tough.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was like plus 650.
Ooh, okay.
On odds like that. All right, it's time to answer our Ask the Pros question of the day, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Today's question comes from Sam, who's in Mesa, Arizona. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have a different Ask the Pros. This is another email
hit us.
That came in. Loved this one. Give it to you in just 1 second. Perloff vamp for me.
Oh, okay. So I'm wearing a number 12 jersey, most underrated quarterback. Okay. Randall Cunningham.
Okay. This one comes to us from Michael in Oregon, who said, give your audience what they really want from Super Bowl Media Row. What B-list celebrity is trying to get airtime that made you think, is that guy still around? All right, don't forget, you can submit a question by going to cbssportsradio.com/askthepros or tweeting it at CBS Sports Radio using the hashtag AskThePros. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is a good question.
I don't have one. There's all A-listers here to me.
Okay.
I saw Bret Michaels in the bathroom. You're telling me that's on an A-lister?
Bret Michaels, I think, now is a B-lister.
No.
Listen.
No. no.
was fantastic when he was the lead singer of Poison.
Yeah.
But he did the Love Bus and all that stuff. Like, he's walking around. He looks exactly still like Bret Michaels, but I think now he's gone from A-list to B-list.
Wow. Okay. Then I Flavor Flav was here.
Flavor Flav was here. I think is once you do a reality show, except if you're a Kardashian, I guess. I think your list goes down a letter.
Not in my eyes. Never.
Who else did we see? Well, we had an A-lister who was on our set.
Yeah, he was getting mobbed.
A legit A-lister, and that was Anthony Ramos from Hamilton, In the Heights.
Yeah.
He's in the new Transformer movie.
I have a question before we break. This has been an incredible week, and thanks to everyone here. The game is coming up. What is it? Somebody wise once said, "What are we waiting for?"
Win. What are we waiting for? Take this!
Yeah. Maggie, you want to change your pick, Maggie?
No.
What are we waiting for?
Oh, man. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much. Mike Samter has done a fantastic job booking the show this week. Stu Kovacs holding it down. Of course, Frank Lewis, Dan Silverman, Anthony Vitellio, Dave Marinick, Andrew Kaplan. The whole team made it work. Thank you. We'll see you Monday from New York. We're out.
You're in a 5-minute break.